Ring, ring, ring. Hello, priest, and welcome back to Krown's magical derpster cave.
Well. Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. It is a glorious Tuesday over here from... Actually, the weather's switched up once again, so it's nice and cold for me. No more sweaty-ass nonsense around here. And actually, I wanted to start off this stream with a little bit of a sombering sort of event as I wake up, peruse the Discords, and plop onto this baby over here. Anyways, a member of Crypto Twitter, I believe it is, Crypto Keef, this guy has been live streaming on Twitch recently. As of the last few hours, it looks like, and putting on essentially a tutorial of what mostly not to do. Now, I don't say this to fucking harp on this guy or anything like that. Obviously, there's been plenty of people who just been beating this guy to shit already, and that is completely unwarranted, and I don't want to add on to that. But what I want to do say, as I bring it over to his Twitter over here, you know, these sorts of things, these sorts of events, I do think are rather important to kind of reflect upon. Not to, obviously make fun of the person, but more importantly, because all of us who have, essentially gone into trading have probably experienced some level of this in our history. And you could perhaps use this as another good reminder that if you are not cognizant of your emotional states, if you're not cognizant of what the hell you're doing, or if you really have just no fucking business trading to begin with, this can obviously happen to you. So at the end of the day, this guy essentially just gambled away what looks like, I don't know, 50 or 80,000 bucks. I'm not actually sure the exact total amount, but pretty nasty nonetheless. And unfortunately, a lesson to be learned there. So at the end of the day, I hope that this can be a bit of a reminder, not just for myself, but also for everyone else out there that, hey, if you're not on top of your shit, this can obviously happen to you as well. And maybe it even happens in the glory of a Twitch stream too, which is obviously not ideal, but it is a reality of this game, and things can get rather nasty. And of course, this stuff right here is just kind of heartbreaking. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, man. Yeah, looking for help on Twitter, usually not the best place, or Twitch for that matter, or YouTube as well. And unfortunately, it looks like he's not having the best time of it right now. Not just losing some money, but also getting, kicked while he's down too, which is unfortunate, man. But again, hopefully this can be some sort of a positive thing for a lot of other people out there who might be watching, like basically a car wreck essentially. And just another reminder that, hey, if you don't stay on top of your game, Unfortunately, things do turn around, and they can turn around rather fast. Anyways, with that said, let's bring it over here to the Krown Chain application, which we found at app.krownchain.net. And I forgot to wish you the best and the happiest. There you go. I'd like to wish you a happy and healthy start to this nice little Tuesday. As always, why the hell not, man? Because it can only help. That's the most important thing. It can only help, and it's free to do. It's free to fucking do. Hey, what's up, Shahar? Shahar says, I use Elsa's ring ring as a ringtone. No fucking way. Oh my god, no fucking way. That is hilarious. Dear Lord, man. Anyways, we do see that Bitcoin dominance actually came down quite significantly from yesterday to today, actually all the way from 1,000%. Looks like we had a bad read on our app yesterday for a second there, but realistically, what did we see it at? I believe it was about 45.5% yesterday, now coming down to about a 2%, which is indicative that as Bitcoin does kind of actually take out the top side of this range here, or essentially inch closer and closer towards it, and looks very much like it wants to. Altcoins actually keeping up pace with Bitcoin, especially while Bitcoin does go sideways right at the precipice of the top side of this range. So we do see a bit of a change of behavior right there. It's certainly not consistent just yet. I want to see this now kind of extrapolated over at least a week or so. But there is a few things to be aware of right there. I don't think it's fully conclusive just yet. Also, fear and greed index also taking up the biggest leg that we have seen in a while now, all the way up to a 38 read, of which we haven't seen that since we haven't seen that in the last couple months, actually. In fact, that is rather somber now, isn't it? Open interest also heading up with price action, which is good as we do take out the top side of the range, or I guess inch towards it. I would say that it's already kind of taken out. So this is kind of what we were looking for, postulating to the last 3 weeks, right? Where we want to see open interest take a leg up of about $1 billion or more, the more the better probably, alongside of the break of the high term time frame range, which is going to be about $32,000 to the downside versus about $41,000 to the upside, of which I would say that we pretty much already done it, especially on a closing basis. Jesus Christ, man, why am I coughing right now? Anyways, as far as top 10 best coins, top 10 worst coins, we got AMP, Clayton, Polkadot, Thorchain, Polygon, Synthetics, Engine Coin, Chainlink, Sushi Swap, and BAT, all on the winners list, all in double digits or more, which is actually rather impressive right there. Basically all the ones that were acting very, very well during the past mega run. So I want to take a second to kind of dial this one in. So this is what I mean by when Bitcoin turns around, you look for the alts that were acting well in the past, in the past sort of cycle here. To be the first and main beneficiaries of this Bitcoin strength. So this is actually good, and this is yet again another reason why I do like to call out those coins that have been acting rather well, and these ones definitely proven themselves, as these are all pretty much the best charts that I've been seeing on the altcoins, I imagine, barring a few here and there that are probably outside of the top 100. And on the top 10 losers, what do we have? The Graph, Celsius, Kusama, and then a bunch of stable coins. But realistically, the only real loser here is Unis CEO or said Leo, whatever the fuck that is. Don't know what the hell that is, man, but certainly have the worst day in this market right now. Anyways, let's get over here to the market data tab and see what we got going on. We do see yet again, oh yes, the line chart is very revealing. What do we have right here? What do we have? We have the biggest thing that's happened in Bitcoin for the last month. We have a fucking reversal, baby. We finally have a motherfucking reversal. We do have a higher low and we do have a higher high. That's rather nice, especially on a daily time frame as well. Okay, something's stuck in my throat or something, because it does not feel good, and that can be cut up into all terrible ways, which I'm sure the internet will do. Anyways, as far as that goes, we do see this accompanied by open interest sprucing up as well. And of course, the funny rates are actually staying more or less muted here. In fact, now that I dial it in, this is rather interesting. We do see that OKX and BitMEX are still posting negative rates, not anything too crazy right there, but Bybit, Huobi, and Binance all very, very muted, as well as Durbit and Kraken. I'm looking at this as very likely continuation from this point, probably to $42,000 or $43,000 in the not so distant future. This is looking pretty damn good. This is actually, I was not expecting to see this down here, and that is rather compelling. And Bitcoin dominance right here. Whoops, a little bit of a bad read. Obviously, that's not exactly what it is. And then fear and greed index chart right here. You can see that we're actually it's like an accumulation of fear and greed. We've accumulated enough fear, we can now go to some greed, essentially. But overall, all of this data is starting to become very, 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 very compelling, following me through with the analysis that we've been talking about over the last few weeks here. So with that in mind, I do want to check out the put call market to see what we're doing for the June 25th expiration. Still plays into my theory that Bitcoin very likely does end this month above $40,000, but below about $48,000, maybe even $50,000. Yeah, about $48,000. Anywhere in between there by end of month is kind of where I'm looking towards. And looks like Bitcoin's getting ready for a little bit of continuation drive as we speak right here, right now. So all is well and good in Bitcoin land, at least for the short and medium term. Obviously, I have postulated a lot of things that, could line up for a bull trap in the deep $40,000 territory. Not necessarily saying that that's going to ultimately lead towards new, new lows, although that has been the historical relevancy of it in the past, each and every time. But we'll just ignore that for now. And I would say at the very least, Bitcoin probably does at least try for another base, maybe at the low or upper $30,000 territory or mid $30,000 territory. But for right now, things do look pretty damn good. We did get the very, very important closure from yesterday. So now we have, yes, again, we do have a low, we do have a higher low, and we do have a higher high above these range highs over here. Good. Hey, that's very interesting, as we haven't had that in quite some time now. And in the reversal, looks real to me. What's up, sir? Are you okay over there? Elsa's having difficulty eating her morning yogurt. Anyways, looking at this right here, yeah, I am looking for Bitcoin to pop back up around these wicks, somewhere around the 55 in this case. We can see that the Bollinger Bands right here are suggesting that we are within the midst of an emerging trend, of which that's obviously already confirmed on price action. But now from a volatility perspective, we would be looking for expansion to the upside in this case, with a bit of a short-term resistance right around about $42,500 to $43,000 here. Anyways, I want to now go over the top three things that I'd be looking for in order to denote a macro low on Bitcoin, of which we do have things suggesting now that we do have a major low here, but not necessarily a macro low. The first and foremost thing that I really want to see is I want to see the hash ribbons print a blue buy signal over here. We do not have that just yet. In fact, we are still very far away from even having the opportunity to do such things, as it does need to cross over in the other side. And right now we're still in the recovery phase, and it's actually bifurcated even more, which is kind of nasty there. So, this is not happening anytime soon, but anytime that we have gotten the blue buy signal, as we have gone on in the the long-term analysis playlist videos, anytime that we have gotten the blue buy signal, it has essentially been it has confirmed the prior daily low as the macro low for that cycle, essentially. And it's all 11 of those iterations except for one. So a pretty damn good hit rate. And the one iteration where it did not work out in that fashion was essentially your coronavirus dump times, actually right here. So you could look at that as a bit of an outlier, perhaps a black swan, if you will. Some people say that wasn't a black swan like Nassim Taleb, but fair enough. Either which way, that's the only iteration out of 11 that did not work out in that fashion. So I do quite put a lot of weight on that. And if we do get a blue buy signal alongside the other two things that we're going to speak about right here, right now, then I would be very comfortable saying that this is very likely a macro low. Perhaps Bitcoin does come back down to mid $30,000 territory, but that would be yet again another opportunity. Anyways, on top of that, the next and most important thing, and what we pretty much already confirmed today, is that Bitcoin does a reversal. We do have a higher low, and we are working on higher highs right now. And on top of that, the next and most important thing would be the daily BBWP over here, a volatility-based indicator yet again. And we don't necessarily have the exact read that I really want to be seeing on this just yet. We do have several components of it. The most important ones actually are already there, to be fair. We did get 100 percentile on the lows at about $30,000, which is a good signal for, at the very least, a major pivot on the market, perhaps a macro pivot as well. And the only times that we've really been seeing 100 percentile on the BBWP is during, either major rallies or major lows. Obviously, it's direction neutral, but on the last few major lows, that was coming in from your coronavirus dump time right here, again 100 percentile, and the 6,000 to 3,000 dump back in 2018 from right on over here. And you can see on both of these iterations, you do have a little bit of ebb and flow on this, but ultimately it's really not until we get down into single digits on the BBWP where it is actually indicative that we are ready and mature to continue, or sorry, not continue, but actually put in a macro low and continue to the upside for the foreseeable future. So right now, for reference, we are operating on the daily at about 56.5 percentile. So it's not necessarily anywhere near the single digits. In fact, the lowest that we got throughout this whole thing was about 24 percentile. Now, what I do think could happen, and what I probably think this aligns with, is that we will see this oscillate within this region alongside this current rally that's going on in Bitcoin. But assuming that Bitcoin does get some pullback around the deeper $40,000 territory, I would be looking for this likely to come back down with it. If that happens, that would be somewhat of a good sign, assuming that Bitcoin can then get the other signal that we spoke about on the hash ribbons indicator that we just looked at. If those three things happen simultaneously, which we already do have a higher low in Bitcoin, so that one's already satisfied, then I would be very, very comfortable saying that this is very likely a macro low. And while I wouldn't necessarily say that Bitcoin's going to shoot off to the moon today, this moment, in fact, I think that's incredibly unlikely. If anything, probably over the next few months, maybe into the end of the summer here, we probably do see a continuation on this macro bull market. But for right now, again, I do want to reiterate this as well. Bitcoin spent about 3 to 4 months distributing at the top right here. When you spend about 3 to 4 months distributing it on your tops or accumulating on your lows, it typically takes about an equal but opposite time to undo that on the macro scale, meaning that you expect to see an accumulation phase down around here for about the same time. Not necessarily the exact same time, but around there. And for reference right now, this took about 3 months. And right now we've been in this region for about a month, a little bit over a month, in fact. So are these very comparable right now? No, they're not. And that's also what makes me believe that if Bitcoin is going to put in a macro low here, it probably looks something similar to what, or do I still have this in right here? Yeah, it probably looks something similar to this, where Bitcoin pops up, finds a high somewhere in this region, comes back down into the 30s, and then curls around, caresses the lows, get everyone super fucking bearish again, because right now everyone's goddamn bullish, as you would expect. And then we probably get that continuation drive. But I want to give you a few examples of where this has been very much relevant and true. First, we can pull this one back on over here. This one actually not as long, obviously, but still a good case study, as we do see this consolidation at the high in a distributive fashion of about, let's see, about a month from August to September. Yeah, about a month of August to September. And then how long does this take over here before continuation? Well, it takes from September to October. Well, that's rather easy. Let's find another one. Let's find this one over here. Yeah, how about there's actually 3 examples right here, in fact. Okay, so end of 2018, what happens? Well, for the most part, Bitcoin was just failing its bounces, but we really don't get into like a very tight consolidation range until this area right here at the very end of 2018, actually, where Bitcoin essentially puts in a descending triangle, and the rest is history. How long does this take for this consolidation? Well, from about early September all the way resolved in basically late October, early November. So September, October, November, about 3 months, right? Well, then Bitcoin accumulates on the lows. How long does this take? It takes from about December to March, April. So I think we already know that that's about 3 to 4 months. And then we got a reversal. And then what happens after that? On the macro scale, we don't get a reversal until we spend about 3 to 4 months consolidating at the top right here. So this is kind of what I'm saying. And what's a little bit concerning to me, and what I, as a Bitcoin aficionado, would hope not happen, but as a trader, I'm pretty much indifferent to happening, is something like this, where it spends about 3 to 4 months consolidating right here, drops down, you get that initial 1 month consolidation, which, by the way, moving averages are very, 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 very similar to this posturing right here. And then this takes about a month right here, boom, bull trap and down, and well, we just won't look at the rest right here. But I wanted to point that out because while things are rather exciting for the short and medium term, I do think it's important to dial everything back. These are the things that we've been planning for a while now. And while I'm not saying that it's impossible for Bitcoin to, just absolutely green dildo its way back up to the heavens here, I think that it is a little bit less likely, to be quite honest with you. And until Bitcoin really starts to close and hold dailies, or preferably weeklies, above $50,000, I would say that is not very likely to happen. And the most likely thing to happen is what we've been speaking about for the last month here, which is essentially Bitcoin very likely plays out a long-term range between about $30,000 and $50,000. And that probably takes most of summer, if not all of summer. And then when everyone's bored to shit, we start to see a little bit of action maybe later in this year. Somewhere around Q4 would probably make about sense to me. Anyways, with that said, I do want to go over momentum oscillators and how the last 24 hours have changed since we last spoken. And we did get a 3-day closure last night, didn't we? And guess what? We actually did confirm the 3-day Stochastic upside. Now, this is actually really, really important because we see momentum on the 3-day actually turning up alongside the 3-day over here. More importantly, breaking, well, I mean, it's not really a range here, but closing on new highs as far as this goes. And typically speaking, I'm going to look for a quick move somewhere around the 55 and the 21 in this example right here, which is going to be right around about $43,000. Now, this is not really the kind of cross that I want to be seen within this region right here, but a lot of the time when you see a cross like this baited, it is actually equally as important to, or it is equally as revealing to see where we do sort of find a little bit of resistance within this region, meaning that if Bitcoin does close above the 55 in this case, this will be a sort of bait and switch that I've been speaking about a lot, in a lot of cases on moving averages, which is actually, funnily enough, one of the better ways to be using moving averages. Like, people do not fucking understand moving averages in general. Like, people, it's so fucking annoying actually, because moving averages can be a big part of my game actually and can be very, very helpful, but I totally understand why people think that they're bullshit and why they don't work and everything like that. And it's because people make a fucking meme out of them, unfortunately, as they do with everything that, you know, actually matters. And it's like, oh, we have a cross right here, we need to short immediately. It's like, no, you're gonna get fucking wrecked that way. Are you ridiculous? Yes, you are ridiculous. But yes, I would say that Bitcoin does close above the 55, which guess where that is? It's about $43,000. Then we will get the next leg up at least into about $47,000 to $48,000, which is rather interesting because that would be exactly where the last CME gap is to the upside, coming in from middle of May right here. So I do still think that there's a lot of things coming in within this region. And oh, by the way, CME actually having a very, 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 very interesting leg up right here. By the way, this is really, really good. In fact, I didn't even look at this chart before starting this stream this morning. I only looked at it yesterday and the day before. But ultimately, what's going on right here? We have a gap up to above the range high. So this is essentially conviction within the market. I'd be looking for this one to continue on, you know, throughout the week, something like that, to at the very least $42,500 to $43,000. And then assuming that Bitcoin does close above there, I would be extending that run another $4,000 to $5,000 essentially. So things are looking more or less fine. Momentum oscillators here are looking, you know, good to go as well. We did have bullish evidence come off the low. Credit to caretaker on this one. Now daily RSI is just more or less neutral, and I would look at this as first and foremost a bullish reset. As far as that goes, we do see daily TSI turning up, and then of course I do want to follow up on the daily Joule buy signal for Bitcoin on spot markets, which did happen on the 10th of June. I want to follow up on this for the people who actually have the Joule, because a lot of the times when you do see a daily signal, you will get something similar to this. It's not going to be exact, but it gives you the general momentum in this case. And what's important about that is that, you know, it takes some time being, you know, naturally that it's a daily. So understand that, yeah, a little bit of patience is required on these ones, but thus far, you know, from signal given to current price action, it's like what, $4,000 or $5,000. And I do believe that there is more on this. I mean, typically speaking, this signal right here will very likely pop up to the next fib at the very least. And then perhaps we do see a bit of a sideways and pullback from that. But as far as daily momentum oscillators on spot price action go, it's actually more or less the same thing as what we did see on CME earlier. And if we go back on over here to our momentum charts, let's see 2 days heading up as well. 33.5 is the magical number on this one. Daily is up as well. 37.8 is the magical number on this one. 12-hour is freshly up as well. 37.5 is the magical number on this one. And then very low term timeframes right here are going to be flip-flopping around. So I do believe that Bitcoin will have a bit of a short and medium term timeframe pullback relatively soon. But do we see another try to the upside first before that? Yeah, I do think so. At the very most, I do think that we could get maybe a backfill in yesterday's open, somewhere around about $39,000 even. But ultimately, I would be looking for another try to the upside, somewhere around this region right here. Again, $42,500 to $43,000, and then a bit of a pullback from there, maybe play back down to about $40,000, and then we'll see where things close at the end of the day, and perhaps target things a little bit deeper into the $40,000 territory. But if I had to make a bit of a chart based off that, this is what it'd be right here. And naturally, these line up with a bit of a lot of these fibs as well. You can see the 6-weighted 0.5 kind of caressing your general bull trappy-ish zone, and the 382 right around about $43,000, and all the way down to about 42.5 it looks like. So ultimately, I do like what I see right now, at least for the short and medium term, and I do think that Bitcoin has some upside here. And there's really not any real reason for me to kind of let go of that opinion, especially, if we're looking at like a short-term time frame, like a 4-hour right here, if we're making ranges. I mean, yeah, 39,200 would be my line in the sand for that one. Closure below, then yeah, we could call this a bit of a swing failure pattern. I don't think that's what's going on right now. I think that Bitcoin has a bit of upside from here, and plays at a range between about 43 and where we're at right now on the short and interim time frames. So with all of that in mind, it is very interesting to see, and I don't say this to sound like fucking, to like stroke my ego or anything like that, but I just want to put some words on what we're seeing within the general sentiment within this market, at least from what I can kind of gather from crypto Twitter and crypto YouTube. Look, man, it's exactly what we've been speaking about for the last month, where everyone's going to get super fucking excited and super fucking bullish on any sort of move back above $40,000, just like everyone got super fucking bearish below $35,000. Obviously not everyone, but the majority of people certainly did, as referenced by the fear and greed index, and just kind of, perusing around. And at the end of the day, did we break any of the ranges here? No, in fact, we are, getting ready to break the short-term daily range right here, to be fair, but, to the downside, no. And so this is why I've been kind of pushing back against these statements, and I don't want anyone to feel like I'm attacking them or anything like this. But look, like for the people who, look, this bear trap right here was relatively difficult. I felt like we traded that rather well. This one over here, I think, was a little bit easier over the weekend. This is kind of like your classic bear trap. And and I want to give a massive, first I want to give massive credit to anyone who traded this well. Look, these are not easy to do. And if you can do these, you probably have a very bright future in trading. However, you know, I did see like a lot of people on crypto Twitter and on crypto YouTube, you know, just getting really, really silly around these regions right here. And it's like, look, man, I actually would prefer to be bearish as a trader. You know, as a trader, I like trading bear markets more than bull markets. There's just more opportunity, especially in the short-term timeframes. But look, even if you're the biggest bear, like what was most likely to happen was always to, at the very least, test the tops of the range once again before actually breaking below 30,000 bucks. So I do, you know, I wouldn't necessarily call out any names, but I would say, look, if there's people who are saying that, especially with conviction, I would greatly question, I'd greatly question what the fuck they're looking at first and foremost, and also second, can you show me your credentials, sir? Anyways, perhaps that's another topic for another time. We don't really need to call out any names for anything like that. Should probably call out all of the people who copy my analysis that I see, because like people will send me analysis that other people do on like Twitter and YouTube, and it's eerily similar to what I'm saying, which is rather interesting. But you know, obviously the channels that I know, they're more than welcome to copy my analysis. It's fine, you know, they're friends. But for the people that I don't, for the people that I don't, it does become a little bit enticing to call them out from time to time. But you know what? Who needs more of that crypto drama bullshit? I like to stay away from that. So you know what? Yeah, we'll just ignore that for now. All right. So let's go back on over here. Let's see. Do we have anything else to speak about on this chart right here? Again, another one of those big signals was on that was on the SMI right here. Anytime that we did see a potential cross the downside in this region, it's almost always been, you know, a bear trap and then up. And now we're seeing continuation on top of that. Anyways, more importantly, we do see daily MACD continuing to head up as well. I want to see this get above the zero read would be my next sort of, you know, big and comfortable signal. But more importantly than that, we have broken the long-term downtrend right here, as we did on the TSI, I believe, as well. In fact, this is certainly confirmed by now. Actually, no, it's not, but it's pretty much right there today, and it will be confirmed today with any sort of a closure above 35.5. I think it's rather likely, so I do think it would actually even be, I'd be comfortable with even front-running a decision like that. On top of that, we do see that the daily ADX DMI is completely faded the DMI minus signal, and the DMI plus is starting to head closer and closer to the threshold here. I want to see that get above the threshold, plus the ADX also getting a positive slope in order to look for the next sort of, you know, continuation move, essentially above 43,000 bucks, and that very likely does get the move somewhere around, let's call it like $48,000 to $51,000 essentially. And I keep an eye on that. I also want to bring you back over here as well. Remember, coming into this month, we were keeping a keen eye on the accumulation distribution indicator over here, of which it actually didn't just remain with a positive slope, it increased the curvature on its positive slope, which is rather interesting because that did imply that last month of June, or sorry, not June, but May was, well, being accumulated right there. So that was also kind of giving us a bias that, hey, you know, it probably does, if it's going to break down, it probably doesn't happen like today. It probably doesn't happen this month. If it's going to break down, it probably happens, you know, I don't know, July or August, something like that. Personally speaking, I do think that there's, well, personally speaking, I don't think it's wise for me to call something out like that anyways, because right now, you know, short term, medium term, I think it's very, very likely for upside continuation, but it'd be a little bit premature to say that we're definitely going to be going down, or definitely going to be, or especially working on new lows. I think it's very premature to say that, but there is serious concern that is, you know, a legitimate possibility right here. I'll bring this up one more time just because I always fucking talk about this, and I imagine it's getting a little bit annoying now. But the biweekly MACD signal is, well, rather compelling, as we have seen all these signals in the past, all three of them. You know, not that much, but it is worth calling out here. All three biweekly MACD signals that have crossed to the downside have been essentially, you know, bounce up into bull trap and then actually closing on new lows. In fact, we can pull back to this last one over here. You can see the biweekly MACD crossing the downside. Bitcoin based off the 20 simple bounces above the 9 exponential average and then rejects, and down we go based off the 55, and then new lows after that. And then same thing over here, cross to the downside right here based upon the 20 simple, and then bounces up a little bit above the 9 exponential average, rejects, bull trap, and down onto the 55 for the foreseeable future before further dropping down even lower. And then same thing back on over in 2014 here as well, where we did get the biweekly MACD crossing the downside right here, bounce upon the 20 simple above the 9 exponential average, rejects, and, you know, basis lower obviously. And we have a very similar setup to what we're doing right now as well. We do have the biweekly MACD crossing the downside. Bitcoin is bouncing off the 20 simple. We are still actually a little bit below the 9 exponential average right there. It is about a little bit above, it's right around about $44,000. So I would be looking for this one to very likely trade a little bit above there. That is historically what does happen. Actually, all three of those times, and then potentially a little bit of caution within the deep $40,000 territory. Remember, we've been marking this area off through various metrics here, not just that, but also from the Bitcoin CME chart. We do have that gap coming in right around about $48,000 as well. If we go back on over here, obviously that is going to be, as we did identify earlier, between your 0.5 and 618 Fibonacci retracements, which are traditionally a bit of a trappy zone if you are going to have a trap within that region. And then on top of that, we do see, we can just pull this one up as well. Why the hell not? Where we do have, another thing kind of suggesting about the same thing coming at it from a bit of a different angle here, which is going to be which ones we're using in this one? I think it was these, yeah. Which is the relationship between all these major moving averages right here, which is the red 10 symbol, the yellow 21, and the cyan 89. You can see that Bitcoin's based on the cyan 89, and then we get the cross with the 10 below the 21, and then where's Bitcoin right now? Well, it looks very likely it wants to test up into this region, yes. But let's see what happened the last few times that we saw a cross like this in the same sort of posturing. Well, based off the 89 right here, bounces up into the cross, bounces up a little bit above the cross as well, by the way, and then down we go once again. What do we have over here? Bases off the 89, bounces up into the cross, rejects the cross, down you go. And what do we have back on over in 2014, 2015? We have a few more iterations actually. Bounces off the 89, bounces up into the cross, rejects, and down. Do we have another one after that? No, not really actually. So a little bit, a little bit concerning there as well. And technically speaking, the 21 is right around about $45,000. So yeah, I do think that Bitcoin could very easily have a stab into, the deeper $40,000 territory, but I do express a bit of caution right there. Again, in line with what I spoke about earlier, as far as general knowledge about Wyckoff accumulation distribution cycles go. You kind of want to see about the same time being used for the accumulation as the distribution. And the distribution we already have, I mean, that was about 3 months. The accumulation, we only have about a month within this region right here. So generally speaking, I do still believe that the best case scenario for bull laws is going to be something like this, where Bitcoin bounces up into here, rejects from here, comes back down, puts in another higher low somewhere around here, and then continues on, later this year. The worst situation for the bull laws would just be, well, breaking anywhere below about $35,000. That would be rather nasty, as you might guess, and that's essentially what I would be looking for to start to confirm targets much below $30,000. In fact, somewhere around $25,000 would be the next sort of target I'd be looking for, and then about $19,000 below there. So Barra still got their hopes alive here, and again, if we see open interest really start to go massive north, like let's call it 10 billion, and Bitcoin gets into that region, that's gonna be enough liquidity for an actual downside rocket. But can we actually take out those critical regions or not? That's a real question. But right now, just under 7 billion is good enough for further information. Short term, it is. All right, sweet. Okay, looks like comments have been coming in. I guess I'll turn back on my alerts. Let's see how deep into this video. We're already 40 minutes into this. What the fuck? What the fuck? Let's go check out short-term marks really quickly before we get into that. Oh, what do you know? NASDAQ printing new all-time highs. Just as predicted. There you go. Jesus fucking Christ. That is so goddamn obnoxious. Still looking at $15,000 before a legitimate macro top perhaps. There's going to be ebbs and flows in this one, but obviously a strong NASDAQ is going to correlate well to Bitcoin, or bode well for Bitcoin, I think is the proper terminology there. Essentially, as long as this remains upside angled, we do see, I just generally have a bullish bias on most things in the tech and financial sector, of which Bitcoin actually kind of is both of those. In fact, SPY futures, what do you fucking know? Same fucking thing right here. Still looking at 43.50 long term, and Dow Jones definitely getting rotated down now. So we are seeing rotational markets here. Yes, that is how the ephemeral keep these markets up, but right now NASDAQ definitely leading alongside SPY, and look for them to continue to make some new all-time highs, and that is generally good, I suppose. Anyways, I think we can get into the comments now. Let me see who's got them today. It looks like Elsa's got them today. Nice. All right, White Lotus of Light says, much love, brother. Chivalry 2 name. I am total Krown on Chivalry 2, man, and definitely hit me out, man. I absolutely love that game. Can band hit target of 1331 during this bull trap based on past versus similar dollar price for Bitcoin? Band, okay, symbol BAND. US derp. Okay, let's see what we got over here. Definitely one of the weaker ones. Closed on new lows over here and has not been following as well. Do I think that band could get up to 13 bucks right here? No, this one to me would be relatively weak, certainly. And this one, I mean, it's already got a death cross right there. Now, this would be an example of a cross that is just not fucking good. You're probably gonna get rejected somewhere around like $10. I would not feel comfortable saying that this one's gonna go back to $13 until Bitcoin actually, closes above and holds 50,000 bucks. There is, I don't necessarily like this chart in comparison to a lot of the other more stronger alts that we've seen. But when I bring it up to a weekly right here, could we just be looking at another higher low in the making? Perhaps yes, but this one probably has some more consolidation to do within this region. So if Bitcoin does, let's say, go up to about $48,000, do I think that this one's going to go to 13 bucks as well? No, I don't. I think it would probably go up to like 10 and a half or so. But this one's okay, actually, on a weekly. So I do think maybe it deserves a little bit of benefit of the doubt. Still a very nascent chart. It's very, very new. I don't have like a super strong idea of it, but let's say we do something like this, which is still well and far away. I mean, this is nowhere near kind of completing this sort of a formation. But as long as it sort of holds these higher lows, you give it the benefit of that long term. But if you're specifically making a relationship between this one and Bitcoin, I'd say unlikely. No, this one's certainly not taking it all that well throughout this last month or so. Okay, cool. What else do we got over here? Bots for the win 55 says, thanks for the psychological playlist, man. Love it. Awesome, man. Yeah, I've really been enjoying adding more and more to that, and I get most of the topics just from these streams here. So if you do have a question or if something's on your mind, I can try to do my best to address that, given my own experience, and perhaps we'll have some more content put in there. But yeah, man, very, very glad that you that you found some value in it, because that was one of the biggest things for me to like really actually go from, okay, I understand strategy, but how the fuck do I why can't I make this strategy work? I know it's gonna work. I've done the backtesting on it, but for some reason my own stupid brain is getting in the way. So that was a big one for me, and I imagine several other people out there as well. Not everyone. Some people they have different issues, but I find that that's a rather common one in general. What's up, Rami? Hey, Krown. I've been a profitable trader for 2 years now. Fucking nice, man. Okay, so in 2 years, you've seen a lot, man. You've seen a couple just nasty. You've seen both nasty downs and nasty ups. That's awesome. That's fucking awesome, man. That's the beauty of cryptocurrency. It gives you a lot of experience in a small amount of time. Anyways, I'm hesitant to increase my position sizes from medium to larger trades. How do I prepare myself to take that leap? Okay, so this is a really, really good question as well, and perhaps even something that we can include in that, but basically the question is, I've been successful. So this is the assumption, or it's not even an assumption. This is one of the fixed variables here. We have someone who has been successful for 2 years. So you have traded successfully, going all the way back to 2019. You've essentially seen, the best and worst of a lot of things. I mean, this is pretty impressive right here, especially if you started like over here in 2018, but it's, 2 years, maybe just 2019. Either which way, you've gotten a lot of experience within those last couple of years. That is awesome. That is great. And that is what is going to lead up into the next answer that I'm about to say right here. So your question is, how do I increase my position size from medium to larger trades? First and foremost, do you want to do that? Do you want to do that? The reason why I ask that is because you're already having success. We want to make sure that your strategies are going to scale with a larger amount. So what I would suggest doing first is paper trading that larger amount. And maybe even doing it on a demo account so you can see what it's like to get filled, because I don't know how much you're going to be going up here. Now, if you're going from like, let's say a $10,000 or even $100,000 size to like, 5 million, well, there's going to be some differentials there. I mean, it's going to be a little more difficult to get filled. You'll notice that people, kind of nibble at your bids and asks. And it becomes a little bit more difficult. You kind of have to actually change things around a bit in how you address your orders. But if you're going from like, let's say 50,000 to 100,000, very little is going to change. I imagine most strategies are going to scale with that, unless you're like extremely short-term time frame, and I don't, maybe there's some interplay with that. Anyways, assuming that would work, which it probably will, then how do you prepare yourself to take that leap? It's actually pretty damn simple, and a very logical thing from what I found is that you want to progressively desensitize yourself towards that. What do I mean by that? I mean that you increase it incrementally, very small amounts, so that you don't even fucking notice. Like if let's say you're starting off with like 50,000 size right now, and you want to work your way up to 100,000. Okay, go up to 55 first. Go up to 55. Make it small. I mean, you're not going to notice much of a difference in your P&L for the same trade using 5,000 more contracts. Not that big of a difference. Now, once you start to do that with each and every successful, let's say like week or two, you're not even going to really notice emotionally what that new size is. But if you just, immediately go from 50 to 100 or from 100 to a million, for example, you're going to, you're operating by a completely different factor. So the best way to do that is always progressive desensitization. And, first you want to obviously make sure that your strategy is going to work. So that's a whole planning phase, but I suspect you're probably beyond that. And so what I'd suggest is, just slowly increase it. Just slowly increase it every week or every 2 weeks that you can confirm that, this is working, this is good, this is fine. And if you find that anything changes, that's at the point where you stop where you are right there. You go back to the prior week or the prior iteration of what you were doing and work out what went wrong, what went different. And that will be revealed to you by an active trading journal. But 2 years of experience now, that's pretty fucking good in this space. In traditional land, it wouldn't be all that much. In Bitcoin land, I mean, you've seen a lot. I mean, this is the real chart again. Like, this is some pretty intense action right here, especially if you saw also 2018, because these were like some actual moves that were difficult for even professional traders to trade. So that is very, very impressive. And what I'd say is you're probably likely already doing the right things. I'm just offering this up for anyone else who, might be in a similar situation, but not exactly. And then for you, it's likely just going to be a case of increasing it very, very small over time to the point where you get to where you want to be. So hopefully that was helpful, man. Super Googly says, hello, sir. What's up, man? Have you watched the Elden Ring gameplay trailer? You fucking right, I have, man. Holy shit, I'm excited for that one. I love Dark Souls. It is probably one of the best RPGs of all time. Can we have a look at Matic BTC daily, please? Sure, man. Yeah, we got it over here. I also saw Starfield as well, which looked pretty awesome. Anyways, Matic BTC. So this is, of course, going to be different than Matic USD, but we do have a higher low in place right here. I do like this. I'm not sure. I think if I looked at this yesterday, I probably would have looked for another move back down to about 33.5, but this is a very good move right here. This is very conclusive, taking out the last few highs of this range. I'd be looking for this one to pop back up towards about 44.50-ish region. This is looking good, at least for short and medium term upside. Weekly is not as confidence inducing. I'm not a humongous fan or hater of the weekly. Let's see what the monthly looks like here. Yeah, monthly's the problem with the monthly is that it's going to be bullish like for a while. You could come all the way down to like 2,500 satoshis and not still say, all right, probably just pull back. But we have this is the problem with massive girthy green dildos, and also the fact that pumping ups are rather common in this space. But looking at this right here, man, yeah, it does look like it wants to take another leg up towards about 4,500 satoshis, and if it can hold some range resembling like this. Okay, this one's obviously not relevant for like the last like 4 months. Something like this, along with the same highs, and I'd be looking at this as a reaccumulation. You typically don't see it like this, to be fair, but I give it the benefit of the doubt. It is an altcoin, so weird things do happen. But ultimately, I do like the way that it's playing within this region right here, and in at least short term, medium term, I would be looking for another upside push. 4 hour looks. Yeah, 4 hour looks like it wants to have a little bit of a leg up to me as well. Momentum oscillator is all north side angled. 4 hour Jewel just gave off a buy signal, I guess yesterday. Yeah, middle of day yesterday right here. So I'd be looking for continuing momentum to the upside here. Daily even has hidden bullish divergence off that last low. Yeah, looks decent. And daily TSI is having a bit of a bullish reset there too. So next move, very likely continuation up is what I'd be looking for on that one. Of course, it's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Brian K says, Cotty USDT 4 hour and daily. Sure, man. You have an asset. Hey, man, appreciate that. 72,000 subs, and I found you at 47. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. What's funny, Brian? I remember pretty much everyone who was like an active commenter when this channel was like below 10,000. I remember everyone. I remember you. I remember everyone that I had like an ongoing conversation with, which is kind of crazy to see where this place has evolved to. Like, I mean, you've heard me say this a million times already because you've been here for a while, but I didn't plan for this channel to get this big. Like, I had no fucking idea. I just started this channel like kind of on a whim, and then it just started growing, which was fucking weird. Anyways, and now here we are a few years later, and this is like kind of the highlight of my day in a lot of cases, man. So it's as much valuable to me as I hope it is other people out there as well. Anyways, looking at Kuti USD. Yep, I'll be looking for this one to pop back up short term to about 23 cents or so. We do see range highs are actually nowhere near us right now. Okay, I'm not sure what did I make this chart off? Probably the weekly. Yeah, I did make it off the weekly. Obviously, that is relevant for the weekly, but let's do the daily right here because there's a lot of action going on for the short term. Anyways, I'd generally be looking for this one to follow the rest of the market. Short term, probably back up to like 23 and a half cent, maybe a short term pullback from there. But ultimately, I'd be looking for it to follow in Bitcoin's footsteps. This one's very similar chart to, let's say, Ethereum, for example. Both kind of having that same sort of blender over the weekend, it looks like, on those new lows. But ultimately, I'd be looking for it to play with that, and I do think that it will very likely test the top side of this range here. Problem with this one is, or actually, no, I wouldn't say that there's a problem with this one. You know, a lot of things still suggesting at least short-term, medium-term continuation of the upside. Daily TSI turning up, daily RSI is bullish divergence plus rejection of the bearish control zone. You know, somewhat sloppy neutral, I'd say, but probably upside angle there. And daily Jules given a soft buy as well. So I would very likely be looking somewhere back, ultimately around about 26 cents. That's where the big boss is, if you will. As long as you're below there, still kind of stuck within a range, but I do like the volume coming in right here, especially on what appears to be a short-term reversal. So I would be looking for, next move to the upside. But what exactly were you asking? Oh yeah, you were asking about a daily. Okay, so you were asking about you were asking about a 400 daily. Well, 4 hours going to be about the same thing as well. Yeah, it looks, it's looking fine here, man. Generally going to follow the market. Anyways, Carl Lagerfen, he says, morning, Miss Krown. What's up, man? Could you look at Nervos CKB on the 4-hour daily? Okay, CKB. All right. Another new and exciting cryptocurrency. Great. All right. Not a whole hell of a lot of history here, as usual with altcoins. Let's see. What are you asking exactly? 4-hour and daily. Also, please give it a shout to my buddy Amy, who has just bought her first Bitcoin. Thank you. Shout out to Amy. She's just bought her first Bitcoin. Get ready to get wrecked, Amy. It's fun being poor. It's poor as fuck. Buying this shitty ass orange coin that does absolutely nothing. Why did you buy this? It doesn't do anything. What the fuck? How did we get another one to join this bullshit? This goddamn fucking pyramid scheme just continues to grow. What the hell, man? Hey, Amy, let it go. Look, you just paid $40,000 for something that you basically can't do shit with. Okay, I understand. You can maybe go to El Salvador and buy some shit there. You could probably gonna get robbed on the way, but that's not a big problem. Just use your orange coins in the ripe old country of El Salvador. Anyways, no hate to the El Salvadorans out there. I've actually looked at your country. It's very fucking gorgeous, in fact. Anyway, just making a bad joke on the internet. That's all, okay? Anyways, looking at CKB USDT, there's not a whole hell of a lot of this chart for me to be going off of here. Look, if I was just looking at this chart, I wouldn't be a big fan of it, but everything's going to kind of move with each other here. If I was just looking at the 4, I would not like this either. But given the market conditions right now, I probably would be looking for next move, probably around about 2 cents or so. You do have some obvious range activity going on right here. Technically, I guess a slightly higher low if you want. And then I really wouldn't be getting too excited for like a medium term move as long as you're below about 205 or so. But I do believe that you will test around there and probably will end up breaking it and test somewhere around your range highs. But this chart is a lot different than what we see as far as Bitcoin goes and as far as most altcoins goes as well. Kind of sloppy here. Obviously, a lot of lower highs on the higher term timeframes. But I suspect that this one very likely does join the rest of the market. And it's just a function of it being in a liquid shitcoin that it probably is not going to be looking as obvious as some of the other ones. So in this case right here, I probably ultimately I would be looking for it to go back to like 2.5 cents, maybe more over time. But that's more or less up to the market. I don't think this one really operates on its own. Just short term, about 205, and then probably continuation above there towards 2.5 cents or so. And then I'd want to come back to it and see it after that. And mostly it's going to depend on whatever Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin, essentially continues on, this one probably gets to follow as well. If Bitcoin doesn't, then probably not. Hey, what's up, Mr. Gwynn? How you doing, man? Good morning to you. BCRX daily, weekly. Sure. BCRX. BCRX. There it is. You like the biofarms. You like the biofarms. Toppy short term. I would be looking for this one to play out a bit of a pullback to 15.5, but I do suspect I like this one long term. Yep. Oh yeah. Okay, so I remember this one. You referenced this one a while ago. Okay, so the monthly actually did close on new highs, which is rather good. So short-term daily pullback probably does get picked up here. Monthly is actually going to have a bit of a golden cross, probably maybe not next month, but maybe the month after that, assuming that we just don't come back down below about 12.5 or $13 or so. Ultimately, I do think that this one will mount an assault back up to the top side of the macro range, which is going to be somewhere around about $23. That's the next sort of biggish region. I really do like the activity going tone on this one. The volume signature is a very obvious signal that this is, a change of behavior, and this has been a nearly 20 years long consolidation, or better said, an accumulation, in fact, as we do see these higher lows right here. Long term, man. Long term, I actually do think that you can make one of these major measure moves off this thing. Let's see what it's going to populate. I guess I'm on log scale, so it's not going to look as impressive, but yeah, it probably does head back up towards upper 20s, low 30s or so, and then that's going to be your next macro area. But for short term, medium term, like very short term, actually probably does play a bit of a pullback right here, but ultimately the breakout looks real to me as long as you do remain above about 14.5 on a daily. Weekly, we could actually come back down and test around there. I don't think it'd be too. I don't think it'd be too bad for price action to do that. In fact, we do have some bearish evidence on the weekly though, so that is a little bit concerning right here. So maybe we do get that test short term, all the way back down to 14.5. But again, I want to be very much, or I want to be very clear in stating that I actually really like this chart long term. Quarterly is about to have a chance to have an extremely good close here, and that would give me targets into this region coming into like the rest of this year. Yeah, momentum oscillators on the quarterly are all bullish. I suspect that this one's actually it might actually be ready right here. So long term, I really like it. Short term, a little bit of sideways and down, it looks like. Dega M says, "Hey Krown, what's up, man? Can you take a look at Tech K?" Okay, let's see. What is this thing? Tech K. All right, let's keep an open mind with this. On daily, weekly, monthly. Okay, all right, we got some higher term time frames over here. Daily is obviously in an uptrend, looking short term just sideways and down. Actually, wouldn't mind another move back down to about $22 or so. Let's see what the weekly looks like. Okay, weekly I really like. Weekly I really like here. Okay, so we do see a macro higher low. We do see a weekly reversal, and we do see a golden cross on the weekly. I talk about this signal very often actually, because we've been seeing it on a lot of stocks recently, where they dig themselves out of this like V bottom hole right here, then consolidate a little bit after the range breaks on a trend reversal on the weekly, and then get a golden cross on the weekly. I really like that signal. And while short term I probably would be looking for some sideways and down, maybe all the way down to like 21.5 to $22, I would ultimately be looking for this one to find its way back up towards 30.25 or so. Monthly, I'm going to suspect I probably am going to like as well. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yes. And we do have a higher low on the monthly. We don't necessarily have a trend reversal on the monthly because we haven't really put in a higher high just yet, but actually you could, it's very likely to trade back up towards like $30 or so. That'd be the next like major level. If it does start to take that level out, we can start to extend targets significantly. Next area of interest would be about $38. Above there, you got this level right here at 40, just below $45. It is sloppy over a long period of time. I mean, it is kind of a pump and dump right here, to be fair. This is what the real chart looks like. It actually honestly looks better on linear, funnily enough. But I do see several indications that you have a change of behavior here. Monthly momentum oscillators are more or less neutral to bullish here, and weekly, I suspect, are actually short-term downside. So probably does have some short-term downside, like I said, but long-term, I do actually kind of like it. I wouldn't really have any real reason to get like full-on bearish on it as long as it's above about $20. Below $20, this thing is probably wrecked and probably going to come back down too lows. So rally is going to be unraveled, but for now, I think you give it the benefit of the doubt and it looks more or less fine. All right, sweet. Let's see. Jesus, I'm glad I sold Bandit 20, says Johnny. So, I mean, it is actually a good topic of conversation to kind of address, because a lot of the time during these downside moves, altcoins will get hit more than Bitcoin essentially. So if you really are into like the shitcoin land, you can always rebalance your portfolio during those times. That's not my game, and I'm not the best person to address that. But if I were thinking in that vein, that would probably be the best way to do it. Jay Quinn says AgVOL. Okay, all right. What the hell is this thing? AgV. Oh my god. Okay, it's this thing, right? Oh my god. On HoneySwap. What the fuck, man? Hey, where do you guys even find this shit? Well, we have a downtrend, as you might guess. It is a shitcoin after all. Yeah, it's probably got some short-term upside alongside the rest of the market, like 350 to 360-ish region. Hard to get excited about this thing as long as it's below the last sort of swing high here at about 425. So I would keep that in mind. I mean, it's just lower highs as long as you're below there, obviously, and the next lower high would potentially come in around about 360, we'll call it. Above 360, I probably do look for a test of this region. If you do come back up and test that region, it's probably going to break over time. It's probably not going to end up being another lower high. I mean, you typically don't get lower highs by testing your prior highs, in my experience. Maybe just like a short-term pullback off that. So that'd be kind of my, my criteria for this one. But definitely weak, definitely relatively weak, definitely not something that I think is, yeah, definitely not something that I want to fuck with. Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, this looks like a monstrosity to me. But short term, yeah, it's got some upside here. I'd keep an eye on this level right here. Again, about 360, we'll call it. Above 360, I'd extend targets towards about this high right here, about 425. And then that very likely does lead on for continuation long term. But, a downtrend is hard to love. Only a mother could typically love charts like this. Fair enough. All right. Blockchain Barber. Appreciate that, man. But have a message, man. Have a message. Let's see, long live Hex. I wonder what you're going to ask about. Hey, Krown, I'd love to get your latest thoughts on Hex chart. Hit 9.7 cents. Oh my God, man, that is actually, what the fuck? This thing's like moving faster than what I first considered. I'm going to get so much shit for talking about Hex, man, but this pullback very likely gets bought back on up. This is a typical profit-taking pullback right here. I still stick with my 10 to 10.5 cent target. We're pretty fucking close to it. Very, very close to it. Let's see exactly what it's going to be. Okay, so the 414 is about 10 cent. A lot of the time, what you'll see off of a pretty interesting chart like this is you'll see like a spike into the 618 and then find its range between the 414 and the 272 right here. Goddamn fucking dishes are at it again, and and so this pullback right here, I don't think it's like an actual high. I'm sure that some people are gonna be like, but we have bearish evidence. No, we don't. There's no fucking confirmed local high right there. Maybe it pulls back down to like 8.5 cent or so short term. I don't think that's gonna destroy anything on the daily. Yeah, looking at the 4 hour right here could very easily pull back to like 8.5 cent, but ultimately I don't think that you get like a legitimate pullback until like 10.5 cent or so. Above there, things get a little more crazy, but I do think you probably play at a range between about, let's call it 9 cent and 10.5 cent, for a while after meeting that target, and then we'll come back to it after that. But this is still, I mean, for all the hate that I'll get about talking about something like this, again, I don't own any of this. I don't plan on owning any of this, to be honest with you. But as far as charts go, it'd be dishonest of me not to say that this is, this is the best chart. I mean, this one's been going up even during Bitcoin's downside 50% move. And when you compare this with most alts, most alts were just, barely fucking hanging on there, whereas this one was actually making new all-time highs. So that does deserve some respect, or at least it deserves some merit on its own. And still, a very, very impressive chart, especially coming into the monthly close here. I suspect that, maybe July is like a month of consolidation or so. But this is not necessarily like a bearish chart, for example. So I'll just leave it right there, man. And hopefully that is helpful in some way. Pablo South says, Bonjour, Krown. What's up, man? Can you look at X Steel? Sure, man. By the way, Elsa is not relaying the comments now, so she's being lazy and not doing a goddamn job. No more nanos for you, bitch. Anyways, yeah, looking at X, I like this. I like this a lot. And this is actually the exact same thing that we just spoke about, I think, on a couple charts. I think it was Sebastian who brought it up. Someone about 10 minutes ago. Again, you have a trend reversal on the weekly. You have increasing volume on that trend reversal. So this is looking like a real reversal. You have a golden cross coming after a nice consolidation right here. I'd be generally bullish on this one, looking for a move up to $31, medium term, and then probably continuation back up. Oh, Jesus, this is a shitcoin chart long term. This is a very shitcoin chart long term. Long term, I fucking hate this chart. But look, it probably is under accumulation right here, to be fair. I do think that you probably end up testing around about $40 long term, but it depends how long you're really into this one. Let's see. You're asking about an hourly and daily, so you're not even concerned with any of that. Okay, so if you're just looking at a daily, I would be looking for a bounce. I would be looking for a bounce along the 55 there at about 24.5. If I'm looking at an hourly, next move, yeah, probably does try for a low around here, actually. On an hourly, probably bounce first and then maybe another try to the downside. But long term, I really like this chart. But you're not asking about that. You're asking about an hourly and daily. Look, if you're on the weekly and monthly, this is actually a very good, at least for the medium term time, or at least over the next few months. But if you're on the hourly and daily, it's a completely different picture. So take that with a grain of salt. But I really, really like the weekly here. I just want to be on record as saying that I would be very bullish on the weekly. Hourly probably tries for a bounce here. Daily says bounce probably fails and then tries a little bit lower, maybe down around like $25 or so. All right, cool. Go Lucky says, hey, appreciate that, man. Have a great day. You have a great day as well, man. Thank you for the just nice and generous message, man. appreciate that. Dr. T said, hey, what's up, Dr. T? All good, man. Nexo USD short long term. Por favor. I happen to know enough Spanish that means thank or please. Nexo USD. All right, here we go. Yeah, another shitcoin chart right here. Not the most impressive chart, not the worst chart as well. Probably does trade back up short term to about 212-ish region. I'm really not. Look, I mean, this is just another, yet again another shitcoin. It did have a bit of a better reaction on the first initial bounce up, to be fair. But here's what I'd be looking at right here. Now, let's get rid of that. That's not relevant to what we're talking about right now as well. I do think that it'll generally trade back up towards about 212.5 or so. Depending upon what Bitcoin does, if Bitcoin gets continuation to the deeper 40,000, I'd probably be looking for it to pop back up towards about 240. That's the next big level for me, though, right here. Above 240, I do get, significantly bullish once again, actually, for a move all the way up to about $3. Daily's kind of sluggish here. If I was just looking at this chart, I probably wouldn't like it all that much. But again, just being in this market, you get to kind of ride on the coattails of Bitcoin, and I'd imagine this one's going to be no different. Very, very likely does trade up short term to like 212.5, and then probably does even continuation, does continue all the way up here as well. On its own merits, though, I'm not a humongous fan of it, to be honest with you. But short term time frames, yeah, looking for a little bit of a higher low right here. So it looks like the reversal is real, and technically speaking, my 4-hour target should be like 218.5 actually, so very likely does test to the top side of the range alongside Bitcoin. Daniel Garcia says GLSI weekly. Think it has some juice, but not sure. Sure. Let's see. GLCI, and you said wait, that's not a thing. GLSI. Gotcha. What do we got here? Greenwich Life Sciences. Okay, and you're looking at weekly specifically. Yeah, I like it. A very obvious reaccumulation after that first major markup right here. Yeah, it's it's somewhat new. I mean, this is a weekly, but we have enough structure here to kind of go off of. I would be looking for this one to trade back up towards the range highs over time, about 51.75. Above there, I'd be looking for the next sort of melting move to the upside. And technically speaking, you would have an obvious reaccumulation right here. This would be something resembling like an ascending triangle in this case. We could make a measure move off this, and that'd be somewhere around let's call it like $80 or so. Could it go for more over time? Yeah, absolutely, it could go for more over time. But I'd be looking for that one to get hit first, assuming that this does complete it, and it probably has some more time within this area anyways. It's not like happening today for example, but generally over time I probably would be I'd be leaning on that one. It looks decent. It's obviously gone through some reaccumulation right there. Pablo Stat says, bruh, I appreciate your thoughts on AT&T Daily. Weekly, sure. I believe that is symbol T. There it is. All right, New York Stock Exchange. And what do we have? Daily, weekly. All right. Daily sloppy Joes on the daily. Let's see what the weekly looks like here. Weekly sloppy as well. I do think it is going to try to put in a bit of a at least medium-term load, about 28.5, and probably does try to bounce back up towards about 31 or so. But long-term, let's see what we're looking at here. Okay, yeah, a monthly is obviously reaccumulation. Okay, this actually helps quite a fair bit. I would be looking for lows anywhere around the $28 to $20.5 region. I do think it will grind that area out. I mean, looking at the daily right here, this is weak, yes. So I do think it's going to try for some lows in this region right here. But ultimately, long term, I do respect this chart. It is reaccumulation first and foremost. We do see a change of behavior on the volume signature over here, which is actually, this would actually be a bearish change of behavior, in fact. So that is a little bit concerning, to be fair. But I'd give it the benefit of the doubt here. Let's see what the quarterly looks like as well. Quarterly, yeah, pretty nasty to be fair, but I do think it's going to grind out the lows once again. 27.5, scare the shit out of people, or 28, sorry. 27.5, 28, and then probably try again to the upside. The only way that I get bearish on this one, sir, like looking for like an actual break of structure here would be, basically any price action below about 27.5, we'll call it, and then I'd be looking for this one to come back down and trade towards the lower 20s to be, over time, but. We actually do see a few change of behavior here that should be warranted. So that is a possibility, yes. But I give it the benefit of the doubt first and foremost, just because it has been acting relatively well for the last, couple decades. So hopefully that one does pull through. All right, let's see what else we got, man. What's up, Legend LEZs? Apple Daily and Weekly. Is it breaking out long term like COVID from Wuhan land? Hey, how dare you say something like that, man? Did you do something nasty, which is go and read public transcripts of Fauci's emails and found out that he himself has been saying pretty much that? That's nonsense. That's a bunch of misinformation. Away with him and put on a fucking face diaper too, you ignorant asshole. I've had enough of you. Apple daily, weekly. Up, man. Looking good. Looking good. So it looks like we were right on this one last week. Nice one. Or I believe we were, right? But we probably weren't right on the time. Or were we right on the time frame or not? I believe you asked a question last week if this one works its way back up above 130 before the end of the week. And yeah, we didn't do it before the end of the week. We're doing it this week. Yeah. I'd be looking for this one to pop back up towards 133, 134 region. This is looking pretty good here. I do like the higher lows, as I always do. And weekly looks like it's ready, actually. Hidden bullish divergence on the last weekly closure. We do see weekly TSI having a bit of a bullish reset here. I'd be looking for this one to pop back up 134 and probably continue back onto the prior all-time high. And I do have a measure movement here as well. That is going to be about 155 long term. Very, very good. Very, very good. So the question is, or that's not necessarily a question, daily, weekly, is it breaking out long term? It's technically not breaking out long term just yet, but the setup is good. The setup is real. Do I think that it is? I think you got all the puzzle pieces together right here. Look, BBWP is on the fucking floor. This is where you do expect to see a potential break of, macro resistance, for example. And I think the weeklies, way down there as well. I mean, this one's down to about 11 percentile. Which we have found some macro lows in before. So I do think it's ready probably, this month, next month, very likely does give a try above that region and test prior all-time highs and probably make new all-time highs. Looks good. Looks very good. Okay, cool. Mr. Solverine says, thanks for the, hey man, all good. I'd hardly call Fortune an altcoin. I'm not familiar enough with altcoins to know what the fuck's an altcoin and not. They're all the same shit, man. All good, sir. All good, man. I salute you, sir. J3F says Ocean USD 4-hour daily, please. Sure. Okay, another one over here. This one, I think from like way back when. I do remember this name from 2017, 2018. Another kind of sloppy-ish one. Definitely, we do see a bit of a change of behavior right here as well. I'm going to favor the upside more or less because of Bitcoin. We do have bullish divergence come off the low right here. We do see volume is increasing on that last little, what would be considered very likely a bear trap. I would be looking for a short-term move back up to about 62 cents. And then realistically, most things in this market are basically doing this, right? They're going to play back up to their daily range highs, which is going to be about 72 3/4 or so. And I'd probably be looking for extension to here. This is the next major level for me, though. If you can actually take out this level to the upside, I would be looking for extension somewhere around the 200s here, which is about just under $1. But again, it's going to really mostly depend on what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin follows through, you very likely see this thing get the benefit of the doubt and follow through as well. If Bitcoin falters, this one probably gives up, a lot of what it's doing. But I do think it's going to follow through. To be fair, daily jewel is kind of curling around for a bit of a signal there, like a soft signal, if you will. 4 hours, obviously reversal and a confirmed bear trap already. I'd be looking for 4 hour to trade back up towards 60 cents or so. And so it's a long way of saying it probably does pop back up here, and then I keep an eye on this level right here for further continuation. It looks it looks like most altcoins. They all look the fucking same. Oh, altcoins look the fucking same. Fucking lazy, stupid fucking altcoins. Don't do nothing, just taking government money. Fucking altcoins, worthless. Hashtag America. Hey, thanks for that, Marco Fanton. Feel free to have a message though too, man. It's appreciated, obviously, yes. But I suspect there's a message in there somewhere. Chris says, can you take a look at Link? Any chance $34? Okay, this is the wrong question to be asking, sir. Like, there's always a chance for something. It's a fucking non-zero probability, but you need to define like a time frame and stuff like that too to get like something that would resemble anything that is a answer, I suppose. Okay, look, the short and narrow of it is, do I think that it could get back to 34? Yes. Do I think it is going to get back to 34? Yes. Do I? Are you looking for that today? Then probably not. No. You're looking for it tomorrow? Probably not. No. You're looking for it this week? Probably not. No. But this one's obviously consolidated this range right here. You got some clear. You do have a higher low compared to this low right here. I would be looking for extension short term to like 30.5. And then probably does have a bit of a short-term pullback from there, and then sets it up for another test of the range highs, which is your $34, or not even, it's not actually even $34. No, it is $34. Hold on, let me see. It is $34, yes. And then that's the big one. Above $34, I'd be looking for extension to $40 once again. But be aware of what time frame you're looking at, sir. As this one does look like it's got some short-term uppity up and medium-term uppity up on its side. Daily RSI is rejecting the bearish control zone. Good. Daily TSI is turning up, albeit in the bearish control zone. But ultimately, I give it this one the benefit of the doubt. Again, one of the better actors. over the years here, so fair enough. But again, define your time frame. 4 hours looking good here for continuation of like 30 or 29 and a half to $30. It looks fine, to be honest with you. Malona says, Master Krown, just regular Krown. I'm just a regular Krown, no Master Krown. I don't own any slaves, nor do I want to. If Bitcoin goes down again, where would Ethereum be? Okay, we'll define how low you're talking about on Bitcoin. Are you talking about Bitcoin back down to, let's say, like 30,000 base, like $32,000 base? Well, then I'd expect Ethereum to kind of be back down around like 2,000 or 2,100. Now, if you're talking about an actual break on Bitcoin, which I have not suggested is going to exactly happen just yet, but let's say Bitcoin comes down to 25,000 bucks, where would I be looking for on Ethereum? At that point, I think next level would be about 1,600 to 1,500-ish region. And then if Bitcoin were to come down to, let's say, 20,000 bucks, I'd be looking for Ethereum to come all the way back down towards probably like 1,000, give or take about $100, somewhere between about 900 and 1,100. Again, I'm not necessarily saying that that's going to happen. In fact, I think that's not even a topic of conversation at this exact moment. But I don't know exactly what you mean by coming back down. I mean, do you mean come back down to like 39,000 bucks? I mean, that's a completely different story, obviously. So again, a time frame would or like a target on that would be massively helpful. So we can dial it in a little bit. Hey, what's up? Serious Laugh. Hey, Krown, how do you think any reduction in stimulus from the Fed would impact markets? Would it have immediate impact? So when it comes to stimulus and all that kind of talk, it's the expectation of what the Fed is going to do that really drives all of the nonsense around it. So what is the expectation right now? The expectation is that stimulus is like forever, or I don't even really know, to be honest with you. But basically, if there is going to be a reduction in the stimulus, so right now, obviously there is stimulus, blah, 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 blah. But what if we reduce that? What if we reduce that? No more free government checks for sitting on your ass and doing absolutely nothing. That's a crazy idea. I want my free fucking money, man. Give me that UBI, bitch. Inject it into me so I can be even more depressed. Anyway, that's another discussion for another time, but would it have an immediate impact? Yes, it would. Absolutely would. So right now, a lot of things are getting priced up, or a lot of assets are getting priced up in part due to the stimulus. But what is the stimulus really? What is it doing? I mean, we're basically increasing the monetary supply by just printing out free dollars. And every time that we do that, then asset prices will naturally go up. So that is the sort of relationship that you're looking at. Print more money, essentially give out more free money, give out more stimulus, then prices of assets go up. That's why the stock market has been going straight to the fucking moon, even after coronavirus dump times. I mean, that's the exact fucking reason. I mean, well, amongst many other things, but that would be a major driving fundamental reason, because interest rates are low as fuck, so money's basically free, and then they're just printing out more and more of it, so devaluing it even more. So that is why Bitcoin and stocks are considered like equities, assets, that kind of thing, and they essentially play off that. So if you want a real hedge against inflation, it's not Bitcoin per se. It's actually any asset, realistically, any like tangible asset, which Bitcoin's actually not so tangible, but I do believe in it. So that that is a bit of a joke, a bit of an aside, but the main thing is that you look for that to play into the actual prices. So if we were to take away stimulus, stop printing as much money, maybe go for a little bit of deflation, then yes, asset prices would naturally go down. Inflation. Asset prices would naturally go down in that case. So right now, I think that, or I don't really know what the talks are, to be honest with you, but it looks to me like the market is continuing to say, or at least continuing to expect, that this does not stop anytime soon. And when this is kind of being born off of an event, right, like coronavirus, you can kind of see it as it goes onwards and forwards. Like first is just like coronavirus. We're gonna have like 2 weeks, just stay at home, no problem. Hey, that's not a big deal. Sacrifice 2 weeks, no biggie. Then it turned into like 2 months, then half a year, then a year, then 2 years, and now it's like, oh, well, we've got this vaccine and everything, but there's a new variant, so you're going to have to stay at home still and mask up in your home and in your car when you're alone. It's safe. Anyways, I'm not talking shit about math. Look, maths are fine, but if you actually read into fucking Fauci's emails, it's very interesting what he says about them, and I'll just leave it at that. You can find that for yourself, and I suggest that you do, because it is out there. I don't believe it's being denied or anything like that. So yeah, there you go. Anyways, my point is that it seems to me like this is going to be an ongoing thing for a while, but again, do I have a crystal ball? Absolutely not. I just have astrology and technical analysis, very imperfect ways of doing this. So there you go, man. But it would look from current market structure that we probably do have, a little bit more of this to go at the very least. And then hopefully in the not so distant future, we can go back to, being human beings again. Anyways, Ronaldo Amador says, "Hey, Krown, what's up, man? New subscriber here. Well, welcome, man, and good to meet you. Thanks for all. Hey, man, all good. I've already learned a lot. That's awesome, man. Could we check out Sand USD on the daily and weekly? Sure. Sand USD. Oh man, yeah, I shouldn't have brought that one up. It's like Jesus Christ. Yesterday talking about Taiwan, now talking about the old Fauci emails. Oh boy, we're really gonna get banned now. Okay, looking at this one right here, again, another altcoin chart that looks, not relatively strong nor relatively weak, kind of par for the course as far as shitcoins typically go. I would be looking for a general upside move here, mostly based off of Bitcoin strength to about 31.5 cent. It's the next sort of or short-term level there, to be fair. But your big level that I'd actually get a little bit excited about if you do take out would be about 37 cent right here. What are you having a laugh attack over there or what? You okay? Would you like to say something or? Oh my god. The internet is undefeated, man. The internet is undefeated. Holy shit. That is fucking funny. Oh my god. Yeah, short term I'll be looking for it to pop back up here, 31.5 cent. Just follow the rest of the market. Look, most things are probably going to test the top side of their range, but it's going to be up to Bitcoin to really decide on direction here. So I suspect that you probably will test this region over time, and then above there you can get a little bit more excited for moves back up towards half a buck or so. But definitely not my favorite chart. I mean, if I was literally just looking at this chart, I'd say, okay, look, we got a downtrend. This one looks like absolute dog shit. Here's the real chart right here. This is garbage. Like, what the fuck are you doing in this thing? But again, it's going to depend on what Bitcoin does, and assuming that Bitcoin could just pop up a little bit, I would at least be looking for a test over here, 31.5, and then probably extension towards 37 or so. Okay. Let's see. Can you have a look at XTC? Sure, Mr. Chris. No time frame given, no nothing given, but I'll just pull it up and see what we got on KuCoin. Wow, we have another shitty chart. We have another very shitty chart, in fact. Born in May, so we have just over a month of history here, and I don't know, to be fair, man, most things in this market just going to follow Bitcoin here. Here's your measured level in this one, right around about 5.9 cent, we'll call it. Short term, very likely to test back up towards 50 triple fives right there. Do we have a higher low in place? Kind of. It's sloppy as fuck, as most altcoins are. Yeah, it probably does trade back up here and probably does take out that level. Look, most things in this market just going to follow Bitcoin. And where'd my next target be after that? Probably somewhere around here at about 68, or sorry, not 68 cent, but 6.8 cents, somewhere around there. Not a whole hell of a lot to go off of here. I'm mostly just kind of making a corollary between this and Bitcoin, to be fair. Okay, cool. Dega M says, "Hey brother, what's up, man? Can you look at Ethereum on the hourly and 4 hour?" Sure, yeah, we can check out some lower term timeframes on this. It's actually having a nice move right now, leading the altcoin market. And what do you know? We do have continuation up. We did hit our target from yesterday, right around 2,600, and now I would be extending that all the way up to the 200 simple right here, actually at 2750-ish region. Same thing going on right here. You have a very obvious top side of the range, right around about 2880-ish region. Do I think that we're generally going to pop back up there? Probably yes, I do. I mean, I give this one the benefit of the doubt, mostly because we do have these nice higher lows coming in right here. And technically speaking, this would be looked at somewhat as as an accumulation, essentially. Let's see what the daily looks like as well. Yeah, okay, I really like this setup on the daily, actually. All right, so when you get across like this, and then you pop back up, and especially if we close above the 55, which is 2650, and I do think short term it probably does test up towards about 27, very likely you're going to run to the top side of the range. In this case, that is going to be right below 2900. Above there, you can look for that similar move on Bitcoin, probably up to 33 or 3400. But for now, okay, it's I'd say it's about par for the course on most altcoins. Maybe a little bit stronger than certainly a little bit stronger than most, but kind of like leading the altcoin market right now. And yeah, I would be favoring short-term, medium-term upside here. Naturally up to the top side of the range, very, very likely. I know you only asked about a 4 hour and an hourly, but if I'm looking at an hourly, probably 2650 is my target. If I'm looking at a 4 hour, probably 2750, where I'm looking towards somewhere around there. Legend Ali says BRK. You want to look at Berkshire daily and weekly. I have end of week expiration and next year leaps up or more sideways and down. Let's check it out. All right, you have end of week. You have weeklies. You have weekly. I'm guessing you have weekly calls here is what you're probably saying. Ooh, it does look a little bit toppy to me, actually. That is a 4 hour, so let's just ignore that. Weekly's a little bit toppy to me as well, man. I'm not a humongous fan of this chart short term, actually. Yeah, man. It's probably going to bounce back up towards like 290-ish region. I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that. But it is starting to lose a little bit of structure here, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing come back down to about 280. Anyways, what's your question? Your question is, you gave the expiration, but not the strikes. we got one piece of the puzzle. We need a couple more though, sir. Up, down, and more sideways. Depends on your time frame. Short term probably does pop back up to like 290 or so. Medium term, I am not a humongous fan of this. Well, okay, long term, very good. Obviously, I'm never going to be bearish off a chart like this. Monthly is, for what it's worth, still upside implied. But you're asking about weekly, so that's not going to be relevant to your weekly. It's going to be relevant to your leaps, if anything. And I don't know, man. It depends how far out you're going here. It depends what strikes you have. Short term, I'd just be looking for sideways and back up to 290 short term at best. Maybe this thing even comes back down to like 280. But let's see what would that do to the monthly here. I'm curious to see. Would that be below last month's low? No, that'd be a backfill in last month's low. So look, you do have a bit of a range short term going on here. Long term, I would still be looking for upside. I don't think this one's done just yet, or at least I think it'd be premature to say such things. Monthly RSI says we're in the bullish control zone, but I do suspect the next move does come back down around the exponential. So a bit of sideways consolidation, and then probably further continuation. So your weekly is probably sideways. Your long term probably up. What I'd be saying right here. But unfortunately we don't have the strikes on those, so it's a little bit more difficult. All right, I killed Epstein. What the hell? Did you really? I'm sorry if this is rude. Okay, I'm just curious. In the dashboard of the Krown trading app, from where is the data pulled from? Top 10 coins change one day. How is that rude? Okay, first off, you don't need to apologize for being rude. It's all good. It's the internet. I try to take things as like, just like meaningful questions to be answered first and foremost. But I'm just curious, like, what part of that is rude? Hey, you weren't fucking nice enough. You didn't say Master Krown. Fuck you. I killed Epstein. Get the hell out of here. I know she's just being polite, but hey, it's all good. It's all good. I appreciate the politeness. It's never a bad thing, but it's all good. Anyways, okay. So where's the data being pulled from? Okay, so it is, I believe, just tracking the top 100 coins on CoinGecko, I believe. Either that or CoinMarketCap. I'll actually have to ask Mr. Mournfall, but it's only going through like the top 100. So if you're like looking at, like Shiba and it goes up 1,000%, and you're asking why isn't it on here? Well, it's because it's not in the top 100, or maybe it is now. I don't know. But just for example, right? Because I'm sure that there's like cummies who are going up, 69% every fucking day, and of course it's not gonna be on here. So yeah, maybe that's where that question is coming from. But it's all good. Like there's nothing rude about that. You don't have to apologize. It's all fine. Milana says, Krown, if Bitcoin goes to the bull trap deep 40s and goes down, where would Ethereum be? I'm trying to sell my Ethereum for profit. Well, you sell your Ethereum for profit before it goes down is what you do, man. Okay, so I think your question is like, if Bitcoin pops up to, let's say, $50,000, rejects, comes back down to like 35 or 40,000 bucks, where'd I be looking for Ethereum? Pretty much right around here, actually. Pretty much right around here. Between 25 and 2,700 is where I'd be looking towards, somewhere around there. We'd really have to see in real time, though. I mean, this is starting to look better and better for Ethereum. If I was just looking at Ethereum, I would feel rather comfortable saying this one has a lot greater of a chance, or just it looks a lot more like this could actually just be, a reaccumulation before further accumulation. But again, Ethereum has a much different chart, right? We had a parabolic blow off top right here, yes, but we didn't spend like 3-4 months distributing on the top. It's about a month right here, if that. In fact, actually, this is a daily, so nowhere near 5th of May all the way to 19th of May. Yeah, a couple of weeks. So is it relevant to look at this as like a viable reaccumulation? You could say that, yes. So that would be a good counterpoint to what Bitcoin's doing. Perhaps Ethereum takes off. And, realistically, Ethereum does have their 1559 EIP coming up, I think, next month. And that is a drastic and legitimate change to be aware of. I mean, they're going to basically make their supply deflationary. So, perhaps it's going to be doing its own thing. I mean, you can almost look at that as like, somewhat similar to a halving cycle in Bitcoin. So take that as you will. If I'm just looking at Ethereum, I'm starting to look at this as maybe actually already putting in a macro low right here or in the process of it. The monthly on our trending charts is like not that bad. I know that people are going to look at this as a long-legged doji dildo, but this is not a confirmation of a of a reversal until we take out the low side of it, and that's all the way at 1755. And for right now, if I'm looking at the monthly right here, even though last month was rather nasty, it did still close above the top side Krown band. And my rule with that is that we are trending in trending motion as long as that condition is met. And guess what? We're gonna have a chance to close above it this month as well, as it currently is 2669. Oh, that's a great number. A mere like $40 away from where we're at right now. So that is all well and good. And looking at the quarterly, okay, quarterly can go both ways. I don't have an opinion on this one just yet. I don't have an opinion on that one just yet. But yeah, hopefully that was in some way helpful. Let me take a sippy sip of this water. I am getting damn thirsty right now. Ah, there we go. There we go. Mr. DeCamps, he's back. The Dominicans are here. I missed you yesterday, man. How you doing, man? We love the pirate approach. So we held the CRV USD piece of trade failed, but bull trap. Bitcoin may lift it, or bear trap. What kind of animal is that? I don't even know. All right, let's say daily perp derp for 289. Okay, let's pull this one up. I vaguely remember this chart. Let's see what it's doing. Okay. Oh, this is actually okay. We have a nice little higher low right here, man. It's actually not so bad. It's actually acting a little bit better than a lot of altcoins, at least medium term, it looks like. Anyways, you are asking something very specific. Okay, daily. For 289. So you're looking for 289. Do I think that we get back to 289? Look, probably yes. I do like what it's doing right here. And you have a natural stop loss for this structure now too, with this sort of bear trappy higher low. It's not really a bear trap if it's a higher low. So no, it's just kind of up. To me, this is actually very different than most altcoin charts. This one was kind of grinding around its prior time high the whole way through, actually. First reaction was excellent. And now it looks like we're just kind of consolidating this area right here. So to me, here's your real range. You have a natural risk management point to the downside. Below 207, there's no more excuses for this one. It's very likely to come all the way back down to like 170, 160-ish region. However, this area right here is looking like a nice little healthy consolidation. We do see actually not much on this chart, to be fair. But if you do take out this area right here, Mr. DeCamps, 255, which, it's going to be tethered to kind of what Bitcoin does. I'd be looking for another retest somewhere around your 289, and probably does take out 289 and gun for the prior highs over here at like 350-ish region. Looking at the weekly, yeah, I'm not getting much from the weekly. In fact, the weekly would be on the weaker side, to use a bad alliteration right there. 4 hours says next move to the upside as well. Volume looking okay for this move. So I'd mark this area off right here. I do generally favor the upside on this one, again, alongside Bitcoin as well. So I do think that you end up getting out break even or something, or maybe even getting your $3.5 target. But in the future, man, it's something to consider, though. It's really something to consider. And I don't say this as like, trying to be your dad or anything like that. But let's say you enter a trade right here, like you literally buy the top, and fair enough. We all do that at some point. But what you do next is what defines you, right? Once you start to break the structure right here, especially coming down below about 250, you could say, hey, look, maybe I do want this position in the future, but it would be more wise of me to reposition lower, as now that you're breaking structure, it's very likely to come lower. And in this case right here, you could have just, you could have waited until it puts in a little bit more of an obvious consolidation, which I believe we have as of the 12th and 13th of June right here. And then, potentially re-enter, and, then, well, we can make more out of it, I suppose. But probably end up being okay, to be honest with you. Let's see. Crappy Fishing Fools TV says, love the info and energy. Cool, man. Awesome to hear, sir. Can you take a look at Tell? Okay, yeah, man, this one's very interesting to me. This one's very interesting to me, just because it's been consistently doing something different. Or can we pull it up versus USD? I'd be very interested to see it versus USD. We can. Okay, this is great. Yeah, another one of the better charts that we've seen, all things considered. I mean, this is obvious reaccumulation after a very, very nice run for the last basically half year. I mean, this is very much respectable, very much different than most other altcoins. This one has been operating on new all-time highs for a while now too. This one definitely would be relatively strong in comparison to the rest of the market from the altcoin perspective. This is obviously, reaccumulation right here. Like I said, you have your top side of the range at about 3.8 cent. You got the rising lows coming in from this area right here, just right in the 55 on the daily right here. Volatility is contracting, so we are looking for a move relatively soon. I don't know if this one, tags back up to like 3.8 today, but ultimately I would be looking for a move up there and any sort of a move above the range highs, either on a wick basis or a closing basis. Closing base would be about 3 cents? No, 3.8 cents. And on a wick basis, actually not much more than that, 3.8 1/2. Then I'd be looking for continuation back up all the way to like almost 5 cents, and probably even just sets it up for continuation long term. I mean, this is, this does deserve some respect here. I mean, this is probably the volumizer bot on KuCoin, so I'm always a little bit skeptical of that. But hey, there's nothing really too concerning about this one, at least in its current stature, and it would certainly be considered relatively strong. And as far as the monthly goes, it's actually, trending. It's literally trending on the monthly, so I think that deserves a bit of respect there, and generally good, actually. Very, very good, all things considered. BK says, hey, Krown, can you look at Matic USD? Sure. I think I got this one down around here. Where's my Matic? 169. There we go. There's your Matic. Nicely done, Mr. Matic. Nicely done. All right, there you go. A little bit of a higher low that's already confirmed. We do have hidden bullish divergence. I would be looking for next move up to about 186, 185, 186. Do we have continuation on top of that? Probably yes. Daily TSI has gone for the full bullish reset. Looking like it wants to cross the upside with any sort of a closure today above. Well, it'd take today above 186, so probably not happen today, but that will naturally move down tomorrow. So, perhaps tomorrow, if that gets confirmed, I'd look for a full-on move back up to prior highs in this case, somewhere around like 2.25. What is this, 2.25? Yeah, 2.25, 230-ish region. Long term, again, one of the better altcoin charts. This is looking good to me. We've remained bullish on this one pretty much the whole way through, and mostly due to the monthly. I think it was rather obvious on the monthly. The other time frames a little bit more confusing, but I do really like this chart, and I suspect that it's getting ready to probably pop back up to prior time highs over the next few weeks here. It's looking good. It's looking very good. Cool. All right. Anyways, you're asking a very specific thing. My entry is 190. Will I be able to get out at break even or more? Where's 190? Look, the funny thing is you're probably going to trade up to 190 and then come back down to like 170, 175 region. So you could probably get break even. Long term, I do like this chart though. I don't see anything wrong with this on the monthly. Yeah, it's a really aggressive rally, but I suspect that it could go on for a little bit longer before the inevitable happens, but respect the ones that were acting good throughout this whole thing. And this one, quite literally, just putting another higher low here. So to me, that is strength long term, if you will. Timmy Smith says, Master Krown, just regular crowns, no masters involved. Can you please analysize Cardano USD on a 3-hour and daily? Okay, 3-hour. Interesting time frame, but actually do like the 3-hour myself. It's just funny, no one ever really asked about it. Everyone always goes to the 4-hour. I mean, they're really not too much different anyways, but looking at the 3-hour right here, yeah, technically you are still operating on lower highs on this one, but what does the daily say? Daily says, look, this is very similar to Ethereum, a little bit stronger than Ethereum, so this one is certainly relatively strong. It is among some of the better charts in this cryptocurrency land, and I very likely would be looking for a move back up somewhere around 169 region. I don't think that's anything more than like a short-term pullback region, somewhere right around here. Ultimately, or actually, we're even grinding up against this one right here, but I think we're going to take it out probably today. Ultimately, I'd be looking for a return to range highs about 178 to 185. Above there, I'd extend targets back up significantly towards about 211, and probably just optimize up to that too. I mean, this is looking very similar to Ethereum, a little bit stronger than Ethereum itself. Monthly is just the backfilling up, and that's why we kind of remain bullish on this one long term here. Looks good. Looks very good, actually. All right, sweet. All right, man, we're already at the bottom of the comments. Oh, wait, no. Whoa, Elsa actually missed a lot of them there. Okay, we got him. All right, Nate says, hi, Krown. I think my first super chat that has been missed. Better pay Elsa more nanos. Nope, she's fired. You're out. You're lazy. Can we get an update on Lumen daily and weekly? Sure. You just threw a little Hello Kitty at me. She actually threw a Hello Kitty at me. Lumn. Okay, on your stock change, let's see what we got here. Okay, and what exactly are you asking here? Okay, daily, weekly. Daily, weekly. All right, so you're looking at daily, weekly here. I'm on a monthly right now. I do think this one is a macro changing behavior on a monthly. I mean, you do have a higher low. You do have continuation above your last prior high. So actually, you do have a full-on reversal here. The volume signature is very conclusive on that. Monthly RSI is healthy as hell. Monthly Joule did give a buy signal pretty much on the lows, and I do think that we have at least continuation for another try back up to 16 and a quarter right here. Long term, I do think it is breaking the long-term downtrend and will find its way back up towards about $20. Other than that, though, I wouldn't feel too confident saying much else. Weekly, I do like as well. Obviously, has a reversal right here. Yes, it is stuck at the 200 exponential average, but typically when I see something like this, it will bust through. I mean, this is a reversal by the definition of it. I'd be looking for this one up somewhere between 19 and 20 bucks. That's your next major macro area. Speaking of macro, let's talk about the quarterly. Quarterly can suggest a significant amount more. I do see a lot of things that I like here. Bullish phantom div coming off the low on a quarterly. This is a fucking quarterly, so yeah, at the very least, I'd be looking for another retest of like $20 or so. Quarterly TSI is about to turn up as well for the first time in years, and the first time in 6 years, that is actually. So could this long term have continuation towards like 23, 24? Possibly yes. Possibly yes. I mean, there are a lot of good things going on here, but let's look at the real chart. Yeah, I don't fucking like these charts, to be honest with you. It could be that it pops up to 20 or 24, comes back down, and then caresses the lows for a longer time and, puts in a more long-term accumulation. That's definitely possible. So that's why I do kind of hold back on saying anything more bullish than that because, while I do think that it's generally looking for some more upside here, I'm not so confident it's like ready extremely long-term, but it doesn't sound like you're extremely long-term. You're probably just looking for like a weekly trade, of which probably fine. Okay, let's see what else we got. Legend Ali says, I had 260 strikes on Berkshire, was debating profit take or run with it. You can always take a little bit of profit. Let's see. Let's go back to it right here. Let's see. What the? Whoops. Oh, god damn it. My dyslexia is getting the best of me today. There we go. Okay, and you are pretty much on a weekly. Okay, you bought the 260 strikes, so you are, presumably you're in profit, but I don't know when you bought it. Well, it sounds like you are in profit because you can profit take. It sounds like. Okay. Should I run with it? Lose weekly on retest or daily? Okay, reinvest into Apple and run with leaps. I do like Apple's chart better long term than this chart. Yes. If you are thinking of like opportunity cost, yeah, I do think Apple is going to be better in that regard. This one to me looks more sideways and then probably long term up, whereas Apple's more like sideways and up. But this one's very immature within this consolidation right here. I don't necessarily think that it's going to like continue up today or tomorrow. I think it's got like a month or two within this range probably. Anyways, you're saying if it loses a 21, are you talking about on this one? It's actually nowhere near losing it. Oh no, you're talking about the daily 21. Let's see. Yeah. I do think your next move probably does pop back up somewhere around 290. I could be wrong and it comes down to 280 first, but usually you do see these things pop back up. I don't feel too confident on this one, to be honest with you, man. I do want to shoot you straight on this in this regard. Ultimately, my answer would be unchanged. I do think Apple is a better opportunity cost in this specific case. Of course, not financial advice. Winning Choice 87 says, hey, Krown, can we have a look at Matic, please? Sure. We already looked at it, actually. We can look at it again, though, man, if you really want. You're looking at a 4 hour and daily seems to be crushing resistances to the upside. Should we sell our Lambos and go all in? Okay, so again, I do think this one generally continues up. I do think this one's going to pop back up to about 190 or so, probably play out a short-term pullback from there and then set up for continuation towards 2.25 and then probably 2.5 and probably gets new all-time highs. Again, it's the monthly that I'm going off of here. I'm not bearish on the monthly at all. The monthly says continuation, maybe later this summer, later this year, something like that. I generally like this one, so fair enough. Nate says, what's up, Krown? Kitchen stocks looking bullish, thanks to Elsa. Can we get an update on... Oh, yeah, we got that, but Elsa missed it. Apologies for that, ma'am. Chris says, Krown, is XRP ready for breakout? Thank you. Give me a time frame, man. Give me a time frame. This would be infinitely better for everyone, yourself included, mostly, if you give a time frame on this. Look, if I'm looking at a monthly, is it looking for a breakout like this month? No. Quite the opposite, actually. Daily, is it looking for a breakout? We'll define a breakout. Do we have a breakout even possible here? Well, I mean, your breakout territory is going to be like 105, right? That's your range. Your short-term breakout could be above about 92.5. Maybe you're talking about that. I don't know. If you basically just take out yesterday's high, I'd be looking for extension all the way to the top side of this range, a buck to 105 or so. Above 105, I extend targets significantly towards about a $1.25 or so. So it depends really what you mean by that. And obviously your last higher low is going to be about 83 cents. So I guess I'm short-term, medium-term bullish as long as you're above there. And we'll just mark that off for measure. Ha, nice one. All right, sweet. We are now 145 into this. Let's see. Yeah, man. Okay, I'm so tired of rigged stocks and after-hours shenanigans and a day or two of setting time for my money. Have fun with all that. You must be new here. You must be very new to all of this, sir. Jesus fucking Christ. This is the last time I'm putting just another $1,000 into BitMEX. This is a scam. Sir, don't trade the fucking aftermarket hours. Close your positions before the end of the day. Duh. Don't you know aftermarkets and futures are only used to manipulate price action? Don't you fucking know this? Oh dear Lord, shenanigans. I sold my kidneys last week for Bitcoin. When Lambo, Krown? Can you get it? Can you get a refund on your kidneys? No, I do think you probably make out well on your kidneys there, but who needs kidneys anyways? Yeah, no more alcohol for you, sir. Bitcoin 1 hour bearish divergence, sir. That's an hourly. I seriously do not understand the obsession with these lower term timeframes on like a daily and weekly move here. And also, it's not bearish divergence, sir. Do you know what bearish divergence is? You had bearish divergence over here. That's already played out, sir. You missed your move. You had a 4.5% downside move off of an hourly signal. You're in an uptrend here. You might get another move back down to like 40. If things really get crazy, you get another move back down to 39. But if I was looking for a bearish divergence, I'd want to see it on like a little bit of a higher term time frame. Does the bi-hourly even have bearish divergence here? We got a little bit of phantom div, but you could argue that already played out. What about a 3 hour? No, not going to be present. What about a 4 hour? If you ever want to do like a quick check on divergence, always check like a little bit of a higher time frame than that. You want to see that same sort of signal populated there. To me, this looks like sideways consolidation and continuation short term. Hourly, you just got higher lows as long as you're above $40,000. Below 40,000, yeah, you probably have another move back down to 39.5, maybe even 39 even. But if you're calling this bearish divergence, man, I would strongly push back on where you learned about divergences, sir. Look, RSI divergences are actually a big portion, or can be a big portion of my scalping game, but I totally understand why people think that's bullshit too, man. It's like people don't understand, like, what are you doing here? Now we are actually printing a little bit more phantom div. If that phantom div does get confirmed, I would be looking for a move down to probably like 39.5 or 39.6, but I suspect we got a long ways to go for that. Let's see what it looks like on the 30-minute. Yeah, not going to be there on the 30-minute as well. Maybe down to 39.8 on the 30-minute, but now we're getting to like very low term timeframes. Look, the short and narrow of it is if I'm going to be like, this is why I just don't look at a fucking hourly for the most part on Bitcoin. Not because you can't trade it, but look, I mean, these signals are going to not have all that much play when you got the 2, 3, and 4 hours saying something, significantly different, to be fair. No kidneys, but sir. KSM UCT daily, please. Sure, we can look at that. KSM Kusamas. Let's bring it up over here on Binance. We'll do it daily. Yeah, one of the better actors here, to be fair. Definitely one of the better actors. This one does. I mean, that would have been your bull trap right there. Yes, it is coming down, but am I bearish on this? Probably not. No. I think you give it the benefit of the doubt. This one, it's fine. 4 hour does have a little bit of a short-term downside range, could come easily down to like 395, 390-ish region, but ultimately, as long as you're holding these lows right here, I look for this one to just reaccumulate in this region, give another try back up towards the top side of the range at like 475 or so, and then probably continue on after that to new highs on this run. But again, range is pretty obvious right here. It's just a matter of kind of consolidating it, give it a little bit of time, and then probably looking for another try to the upside. 12 hours saying short term probably does test the upside, actually, maybe 470, 475 region. Okay, sweet. Good, because I'm staking KSM. What is staking? I don't even know what the fuck staking means. I don't even know. I keep on saying that. I keep on seeing this thing over the internet saying that you only need 32 Ethereums to be a validator and stake 32 Ethereums and become a. I don't even know what the fuck that means, man. You could probably do that too. Oh well, whatever. Hey, Sam, I missed the boat, sir. The boat's right here. The boat's right here. It's only been around for like, it's actually been around for almost a year now. Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good chart. Pretty good. Fair enough. You missed the first boat, sir, but it's creating a new boat right here. Can't you see? We'll do a little bit of chart art here. Would you like to see the boat analysis? Here we go. Here's your little boat. All right, boom, and there's your boat, sir. We have a boat. We have a boat, sir. Congrats on your boat. Congrats on your fucking boat. Any thoughts on Ren on the daily? Ren, yeah, I remember this one from way back when as well. Haven't heard it, I think, at all in this current cycle. Yeah, not the worst chart, actually. Actually, it's very interesting to see this one. Really did not go through the same woes that a lot of the other altcoins went through. Had a generally good, 2019 onwards. I would be looking for short-term back up to about 52 cents or so, and then probably continuation of 57 after a short-term pullback there. 4 hours looking fine, change of behavior right here. Yeah, I'd be looking for 4 hours. Yeah, 55 cents or so. Probably a bit of a short-term pullback there, and then look at Bitcoin for direction, I'd say. Hey, what's up, Faraz? There he is. Oh, shit. Good morning, chats. Now in Dubai. Fucking nice, man. Say hi to the Simpcoin CEO. She's right here, man. Would you like to speak with her? Would you like to speak with the Footmaster, sir? Whoa! You can't say that word on the internet. That is banned, sir. No more. You can't say that. It's the S word. Elsa's the CEO of simpcoin.com. Only Simps. Yeah, she's the CEO of Only Simps. What do you do at Only Simps? What do you do there? You simp. Elsa is the biggest simp, though, I'll tell you, okay? Yesterday, she sends me often these screenshots from Twitch of these bathrooms. Yes, it's often. Of these bathroom streamers, in their fucking bikinis, in some sort of a hot tub, writing people's names all across their chests, doing all sorts of physical activities and singing, cool things like that. Elsa's always on it. It's like you think Mark B is Amarnath's biggest fan. No, it's Elsa. Elsa wants to be Amarnath, I think. Anyway, hey, what's up, Paranoid? How you doing, man? Look, I can spend money on YouTube after finding my mom's wallet. Have a great day. Mom? Sorry, Mom, but appreciate it, Mom, as well. Good to see you, man. Good to fucking see you. Kendrick Camp says, the Sid Meier pirate trap approach. Accumulate Bitcoin, swing Matic, tell for BTC, and random trade on CRV trades are Elsa element tactic for UST. All right, copyright it, send it up, ship it off. I like it, man. They're gonna be fucking filthy rich, sir. I love it. Jesus Christ. How much for Simp Stream? I don't know. Would you like to initiate Simp coin analysis, or what would you like to do? I think that question's for you. I don't know. We have the CEO of Simcoin right behind me, so if you'd like to speak with her, she is here. Anyways, the beginning of Twitch's downfall. I think Twitch has a limited life here. I mean, they're not even fucking trying anymore, man. YouTube's gonna take them over, I think. Smokey Burnout says, "Oh, hey, what's up, man? Can I see some moon phases?" Yeah, we can bring up the moon phases actually, if you really are so inclined. Actually, you know what? I'd rather show you than that. Whoops, that's the wrong one. I guess I got my moon phases right here, but let's see, where's my moon? Yeah, here we go. It's on my time fib chart. And we actually have even the man himself, Mr. Paranoid, using his in the chats right now too. But what I would like to show you, that actually remind me of this one. The Bitcoin log curve zone is actually rather interesting here. I think this current move here is starting to really align with this sort of like double bubble narrative. You do see that the only time that Bitcoin's really topped out and then based in the yellow zone here was actually the 2013 zone. Not that it has to be exactly similar to that, but as long as we do hold on to it, Bitcoin really hasn't put in a macro cycle top unless if it's in the extreme red zone here, to be fair. So take that as you will. Take that as you will. Anyways, okay, cool. You want to look at moon phases? We can look at moon phases, but unfortunately, in this case, it looks like the moon phases were wrong. We're wrong, actually. We can bring it up right here. Yeah, we would have had the bare moon to be fair, but it is worth calling out that this would be the only moon that we've seen, or at least have we seen other bare moons that are aligned with a bullish signal afterwards? Yeah, we saw this one right here, and that was actually just a higher low before accumulation. We see the same thing on the jewel as well. For the recent times, what about on this one? Kind of, yes, did get a signal right here. It looks like soft one, albeit. What about right here? Yeah, another soft one. This one did end up being a failed rally, but yeah, man. I mean, technically speaking, the astrologers are wrong. The fuck? Are you telling me this astrology bullshit is no better than technical analysis? That's right, and apparently it doesn't work either. Where it seems like it actually has had a pretty good pass right here, but yeah, in this case right here, not so much. Actually, someone in the Discord, I think it was Pira, I want to give credit to Pira for this in the Discord, called out that for the moon phases on the bare moons, and also the bull moons, if we do see 3-day stokes, I think he said, coming in from like the critical zones, then it typically doesn't play out. And guess what? We do actually have that over here. We do have 3-day stokes coming in from actually the critical zone and actually fresh crossing up. So that would be a counterpoint to it. Anyways, okay, cool. Let's see. Okay, Nate says, what does Nate say? Can you take a look at forward on daily and weekly pullback targets? Okay, I think symbol F. Yeah, there we go. Okay, pullback targets for this one. I don't want to do it on this chart here. Let's do it on this chart right here. Okay. Nice one. Pullback targets, obviously daily 21 here is going to be a natural target right around about 14 and a half or so. What are you looking? Oh, you're looking for weekly as well. Okay, weekly reversal I really do like, but does it come back down and base around like 13 and a half to $14 overall? Yeah, I do think so. But I do want to be on record as saying I do like the weekly here. I actually do really like it. Well, I go to the monthly. Maybe we do have a bit of a short-term high. Long-term, got some nice higher lows here, so I'm always going to like that. But could this spend some more time consolidating here? Maybe yes. So that'd be a counterpoint to what I'm saying. But if you're specifically asking about daily, weekly, daily about 14.40 to 14 and a half. Weekly, all the way down to about just below $14. And I do think you're probably going to get another try at the top side resistance right there, to be fair. Anyways, okay, Jordan Chen says dollar Chinese yuan. Okay, all right, let's see what we got here. Limited exchanges, as you might expect. And what time frame are you looking at here? And please, Daddy, I need some forex foreplay. I'm happy to do that, man, but give me a time frame for this. Holy fuck, this is a wild chart. What the hell? What the hell? I don't know what to make of this, man. I don't know what to make of this. This is a very bizarre chart to be looking at. Honestly, I can give you an opinion on this chart, but I would want to say first and foremost, I do not feel confident on this. This is a very bizarre looking chart to me. I'd be obviously your range highs on the monthly goes right here. You do have rising bottoms right here, and perhaps this is some sort of reaccumulation after just a mega multi-decade rally. Very reasonable, but can it spend some time doing this? I mean, yeah, I can definitely spend some time doing this, but I do think you are starting to find a little bit of bottoming action right here. If things come down a little bit more, I'd be looking somewhere right around this level, right around about 6.25 or so. But long term, I guess if you put a gun in my head and said analyze this thing, show me something, that would be it. But I don't feel too confident on something like this, man. So I think I'll just leave it at that. Let's see. Do we see anything? Yeah. Okay. We do see that BBWP right here on the monthly. Actually, it is getting extremely high. So we probably are at a bit of a pivotal moment. Also hitting that 377 on the monthly as well. So I would suspect that we probably are looking at a macro low in the making here, but it's going to take time. I mean, this is a monthly after all. Kendrick says, no biggie ARB on LSE daily. Sure, man. I remember you've asked about this one as well. This is another, is this a miner? Argo blockchain? Let's see. Okay, and you're looking at daily, I believe? Yeah, you are looking at daily. Okay. It looks very similar to Bitcoin. So I imagine, just by having the name a blockchain in it, it probably trades with Bitcoin. And what do you know? We have that same sort of higher low bear trap going on right here. And I'd probably be looking for this one to trade back up north of 185, 186 territory. Next major level to the upside is going to be just above 200, about 205, but probably does test around there, to be fair. Daily RSI's bullish bullish divergence right here. I think that this one's already played out, and that is your fake out move. That is why those are difficult to kind of get. Daily Jewel is looking for a bit of a soft signal, and daily TSI is turning up. Yeah, I favor the upside here. I'd be looking somewhere between about 190 and 205 or so. Above 205 is the next sort of interesting move long term, and you could probably look at moves back up to like 250 and beyond. But yeah, probably plays with Bitcoin. Probably does okay here. It would be my general disposition on this one. You got some obvious range lows here, right around about 118. So I give it the benefit of the doubt and say it's generally going to be sideways and up there. AM says, "Morning, sir. What's up, man? Could you look at .USD on the 1 and 4 hour, please?" Sure. A lot of low time frames today, which is fine. So fair enough. Let's just look at them. Let's see. Hourly, short term, a little bit of downside, perhaps back down to about 24 and a quarter. But I do want to be very clear on if I know you didn't ask about the daily, but the daily is good here. I would be looking for a move up to 28 and a half to maybe even $30. This is good on a daily. This is actually pretty good on a daily, all things considered. One of the I'd say this one's a little bit like around par for the course as far as altcoins go, maybe a little bit better. Daily TSI turning up, daily RSI. I think we got some phantom. No, we don't have phantom diff right there. But ultimately, I do like this, and I do think it will pop back up to the range highs. Here's the thing: if you even take out the 3rd of June high, just even take above it, I'd extend targets significantly towards 30 plus bucks. But again, if you're just asking about the hourly and 4 hour. Short term, a little bit of sideways. I do think it tests a little bit to the downside right here, if memory serves me correctly. Let's see. Yeah, perhaps test back down to like 24 and a quarter or so. But I do like the daily, and I suspect I'll like the weekly as well. Weekly's okay. It's not not amazing, not terrible. Yeah. Weekly says we probably do find our way to like $30 or so. So take that as you will, man. Short term is very much divorced from the long term. Daily, I really like, or 12 hour and daily I like here. 12 hour says probably north of 30 overall. Noah Culp says, "Oh, my green dildo dose are breaking out of my face diaper. Please, sir, you should get that checked out and definitely get the shot, sir." There you go. There you fucking go, man. Okay, cool. So how deep into this are we? We're 2 hours into this. I think we can probably wrap this up here then. I think I've got just about everything here. Okay, cool. Let's go back to Bitcoin really quick. Do we want to do a quick wrap up? Generally speaking, I am looking for sideways and up on Bitcoin here. Maybe we have a short-term move back down somewhere around like 39.5. Possible, yes, but ultimately I would be looking for further continuation because we do have a confirmed reversal on Bitcoin now. We don't just have a higher low, but we've taken out the range highs. Looking for continuation, generally speaking, to $42,500 to $43,000. Above there, I would extend targets another $4,000 to $5,000 to the deeper $40,000 territory. Something in line with this is what I'm looking at right now, with generally speaking sideways and up being the short-term, medium-term resolution of this, and then a little bit of drama around this region, perhaps a short-term pullback, and then sets it up for continuation into the deeper 40s. And well, we'll just hold our breath and see what this price action populates as itself. So with that said, I should probably offer up some on the other side as well. Where would I start to switch around on those views? Where would I not be short-term bullish on Bitcoin or medium-term bullish on Bitcoin? That would be below $39,000. $39,000 kind of my line in the sand in this case right here on a 4-hour closure. I really wouldn't feel too compelled by that, to be honest with you. Let's maybe see a 12-hour. Do we see anything on 12-hour? Yeah, 12-hour probably does it as, yeah, $39,000 would kind of be my area for that. And 12-hour does say that we can easily come back down to like low 39, but ultimately, I do like this for another try to the upside. Generally speaking, I don't think that we're going back down from here just yet. Probably, upside first, and then if Bitcoin wants to play out some downside, it'll play out some downside. But short term could have a bit of a range. Yeah, it could very easily have a range back down to like 39.5 or so, which may or may not be relevant to you. But I do like the higher term timeframes right now for general continuation. And I think with that said, I am going to end the stream. I want to wish you the best once again. It's been an absolute pleasure. Fun times, good conversations. Probably offended a lot of people out there. Unfortunately, I would hope that this is just taken as, just having fun on the internet for the most part. And with that said, I want to wish you well once again. Take care and hopefully see you soon.
Write it, code it, name it, tweet it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it, send it, do it, and receive it. Trade it, buy it, sell it, store it, run it, list it, first rename it. Crypto logic. Pump it, hack it, lose it, dump it, sell it, ditch it, XR, pitch it, copy, paste it, nudge it, test it, build it, try it, bend it, fork it, hype it, pump it, dump it, rinse, repeat, but quick relocate. Pause it, list it, send it, burn it, pump it, hack it, quick rename it, take it, blend it, send it, tweet it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it, send it, do it,